Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
What's up?
Well, it's what's down that's got my attention.
Oh?
Yeah, look at that long snake.
Snake? Oh, traffic. Those are cars.
I know they're cars. I'm being metaphorical. If I were a human, I'd ride that Bel Air airport or shuttle. Look at it. It gets you to SeaTac quickly. You can sleep, look out the window, be productive, and it's in the HOV. Hey, maybe it stands for heading on vacation.
Bel Air Airport or Shuttle with 8 round trips daily. Click airporter.com to book your trip today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off to Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4093. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my cock, Montgomery. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Tate. Click, clack, drinkity drunk. All right, here we go. A family putting in a kitchen realizes that they did not need to take a loan out after all. Meanwhile, after 7 years, a Japanese zoo learns that their resident hippo is not having a ball. Man who's lived to 110 says he eats whatever he wants and drinks Ovaltine every day. A guy locks himself in a car dealership until he and his new truck can drive away. And an Air Force flight is delayed by a sleeping alligator. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, our very own Mike Hawk brought us this story yesterday, but it's worth repeating. A woman in England looked through her binoculars, and what did she see? A 7-year-old kid with his hands stuffed in a horse's butt. Now, as a result, the kid was arrested for what they call outraging public decency, as he should be. But the question we're left with is, who's more traumatized? The kid who got busted for using a horse as a glove, or the poor woman who looked through binoculars only to see the dude with his hand in a horse's ass. I mean, I think both of them are like, this is not a good day. This is not a moment that I wanted. But look, sometimes you just don't want to see what you saw. In fact, a photographer, he's suing Megan Thee Stallion over what he calls a toxic work environment. And one of his complaints is that she, quote unquote, forced him to watch her have sex with another woman in the back of an SUV.
Oh, no.
I guess all I can say is we've all got problems, I guess. Like the man in England who was ghosted by his girlfriend. He's not the first man to suffer that, but you're asking yourself, what happened? Well, he ran the London Marathon, and then he crapped himself as he crossed the finish line. The thing is, his girlfriend was there to congratulate him, but she saw him crap himself, was mortified, and now she won't return his texts or calls. Maybe that's a bit of an overreaction, sure, but she saw what she saw, and that was seemingly a deal breaker. And there's a different guy. He's gone viral, unfortunately, for a $20 bet at the gym. You see, his friend bet him $20 that he couldn't bench press a certain amount of weight. Well, as the barbell reaches its lowest point, the lifter heaves. But instead of thrusting the bar upwards, he lets out a massive fart, which, of course, was captured on video. Lucky guy. But that's how things work. Sometimes you see something you don't want to see. Other times you really wish no one had seen what you were doing. Whether it was tripping in public, scratching your ass, or eating a booger, who knows? But that leads to today's question. What do you wish you'd never seen? Or what do you wish no one had seen you do?
To be a part of the Big Show, call 206-803-ROCK. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, but y'all, away we go. Welcome to Season 19, episode number 4093. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, I don't know how you do it. Find 3 people in the news doing bad things every week.
Yeah. This isn't so much people as it is, well, they're known as the man. So all 3 of these stories, the man seems to be trying to get over on people with a little
all right.
questionable behavior then.
Who Sucks Less is coming up with the man.
The man.
Also,
not Chico.
Just the man. We have a chance for you to win tickets to see Aerosmith this afternoon. Their show November 24th, Climate Pledge Arena, along with the Black Crowes. They basically said, hey, you come up with a time, give the secret word, and then when you hear that word, you text it to 206-803-ROCK.
How do they expect you to come up with a different time each day? I mean, here we are. We're prepping for the show. We got other things to do.
Word. Yeah, time, word, the whole thing.
It's ridiculous.
So today,
they don't respect your time, Miles.
I know.
They really don't. This is every day. Every day with this crap.
But came up with a time, and the time today is going to be 4:20.
Oh,
that's a good time.
That is a really solid
Figured it'd be easy for some of you to remember that. Others may be more difficult. But either way, the secret word will be given out at 4:20 for your chance to win tickets to see Aerosmith. What else do we have for you? This Sunday, the Men's Room World Tour, stop number 3, happens at Olaf's in Ballard. doing a little Sunday fun day, drinking from 2 until 4 at one of the coolest old school bars in Ballard and Seattle, basically, as far as one of the older, more established places.
And it was opened by a snowman. Olaf
the Snowman. Yes, exactly. Men's Room World Tour, stop number 3.
It's true, Mike.
Hopefully we'll see you Sunday from 2 until 4. Men's Room beer brats on the menu from Uli. We've got the Men's Room roasted red salsa from San Juan also going to be there. So hopefully you get a chance to stop by and join us from 2 to 4 this coming Sunday. What else? We have some updated locations on the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing if you haven't had a chance to get it yet. Now available at Zach's Smoke and Beverages, the Machias Food Mart, the Chevron.
Oh, Machias.
Yeah.
Machias.
Nice. Salmon Service Center, Terry's Corner Store, the East Lake Market, Storm Lake Grocery, the Golden Food Mart, Beer Star in Seattle, the Saveway Market, Briscoe Shell Station, D&L Food Mart, Plaza Select Foods, also at Pacific Liquor, Zach's Smoke Shop, Discount Smoke, Lucky Liquor and Beverage.
Lucky Liquor, yeah.
Lucky Liquor and Wine. That's what she's not feeling.
She's not happy about it, but she'll do it.
Okay. Ballard Liquor Convenience Store.
Fine.
The 72nd Deli Market. The Lucky Liquor and Wine. All right.
Shout out to Lucky Liquor.
If you have to.
Great spot. They sponsor a lot of good soccer teams.
I see. I can guess the one they sponsor. Okay.
And the Town and Country Market in Mill Creek. Some of the locations. By the way, if you happen to spot the beer, I know a number of you have found it. Please send us an email to the men's room at KISW.com. Include a picture of the display and let us know where you bought it. I believe someone sent us an email that said, found your beer in Shelton. And there's a picture of 2 beautiful 6-packs in the seat of his car.
Yeah.
No idea where he got it.
Apparently, they're just all over Shelton like Easter eggs on Easter Day.
But if you can remember to include the location, we'll try to get it out to as many people as possible. As the word has been spreading, the beer has been selling awesome. You guys are doing a great job for the 3 local Fisher houses, and people love this beer. So, so far, so good on the Men's Room IPA launch with Black Raven Brewing. We're hearing nothing but good stuff.
This guy who did not tell us where in Shelton he found it, although providing video or photographic evidence that he did, I say we work with Black Raven and we get like 1,000 cases of the beer. And one by one, we just hide them throughout random locations in Shelton.
You bet, dude.
That way, that guy's email is accurate. I found these in Shelton. Of course you did.
I think he's just trying to protect his stash. He found it somewhere, but he doesn't want to draw attention to that.
You know, man, that's I cannot blame the man for that. There are several things where I don't name, I call Ted and I's bar the watering hole.
Right.
And it will stay that. My wife and I know of like...
Sorry to the owner.
3 fairly... I know. Come on, man. I'm like, no.
I'll do it.
There's like 2 or 3 cheaper parking garages downtown that my wife and I are aware of. Nice. One is actually free, but no one knows that it is. We never tell anyone. I know it sounds crappy. I just want to make sure I get my parking space.
Damn right.
So I get it, man.
I have a reserved spot in the area.
In the area?
Yes, I do.
Really?
Yeah. In the area. Well, basically...
It must be nice.
Here's my next
no
move.
kidding.
I'm going to get like a piece of multicolored or different, not white paper, but I'm going to put it in the copy printer machine we have here.
All right.
And then I'm going to print out a thing that says reserved in black, bold letters.
That is all it takes.
And then I'm going to have Frankie laminate that thing for me, right? Yeah. And then I'll always have it in my glove compartment. And anytime I go someplace where I think, you know what?
I want to park here.
If I just put this in the front window, reserved.
I mean, just see if it works.
Reserved for what?
Most people, look, I'm not going to lie. I will not say someone I know, they have to go in and out of work, so getting a parking space back in a building can prove difficult, all right? So I said, look, man, you know an orange traffic cone does the trick. You put an orange traffic cone anywhere, people just leave it alone. They assume there's something up. So WashDOT, I'll let you know, I stole one of your traffic cones that we paid for, so I don't care. Well, they're doing the light rail, and I said, look, man, they got like 80 of them. So I'll just snag one. I did, and he uses this thing every day. And so far...
Wait a minute, you stole a traffic cone and you were giving me hell from stealing a pepper grill grinder?
His taxes paid for the cone.
I paid for the traffic cone.
I ate there like every day for like 3 or 4 days.
Miles, you are stealing.
You're stealing.
No.
I am taking advantage of our tax dollars. Mm-hmm. And as a result, my man has been able to park in his same parking space every single day.
I mean, by that metric, I should be able to just grab a police car.
You know, you're right. Mm-hmm. And, Mike, I advise you try that. Okay. You just look, if they leave it running, you just hop in and say, hey, we paid for this.
I know where the secret button is, cops. Mm-hmm. I can get that thing moving.
They'll be like, you're also going to pay for the bullet that is in your chest. Right. That makes
there's
you feel
a famous traffic circle, like when you're driving into the University of Maryland.
Yeah.
So we're trying to go to a football game. It's like me, my cousins, my dad, my uncle. And we just can't get into the circle. Somebody's going to let you in. Same thing. My uncle just popped out, just blew his whistle because he's a coach. stopped traffic. And I mean, he didn't just let us through. He let like 10 cars through, stood there for a minute, blew the whistle.
Oh, really?
And hopped back in.
It's not a bad call. If you have a clipboard, a whistle, and a hard hat, and
an orange vest. The orange vest is huge.
Trunk,
oh, yeah.
You can do anything you want.
There is nowhere that won't just let you in.
I will say, on the downside, at the world's largest cocktail party in Jacksonville,
yeah,
I was in a minivan, and my brother said, just get out and move that cone. And I mean, as soon as my hand hit it, his Florida State trooper started, he's like, put that cone down. And Chris is like, just move it. And I mean, I just threw it.
Now,
and we drove off.
Now, if you had one of those,
scared the crap out of me.
If you had one of those mini handheld things like the guys have that bring in the planes at the airport,
the orange flag things,
or just even the red lit up like little mini lightsaber. You know what I mean? Where you direct traffic with it. If you had one of those bad boys and you brought it out and you started waving it.
You don't get. Who has ever pulled over?
Instant credibility.
Who has ever pulled over?
Instant credibility.
And asked like the flagger, I need to see ID that proves that I actually have to stop because you turned a pole around and said stop.
Yeah.
You just assume, right?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A's got 2 lines. I can make everyone go in the left one and act like the right one's closed or whatever the left one.
You know, we need to do that. We need to start doing that.
Empty line and get my food first.
I'm going to order an orange vest and see what I can just get away with.
Yes.
Right? To see where I can walk, where I can park. Because you can park half on the sidewalk if you get out with the orange vest and have a clipboard. Because obviously, I'm there to do something important. Sure, about a 6-pack of beer, but that was a very important 6-pack. No one questions it.
I'm just going to post up, outside of like a traffic light, and then every time the light turns red, I'll just make it go.
Go ahead. No, you're good.
It would be a bad reason to get arrested, though. What you in for, brother? I was faking being a traffic cop.
Yeah.
Our question today, what do you wish you had never seen, or what do you wish no one had seen you do? Marathons are a big deal. They're not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And the London Marathon was not too long ago, and maybe the people running that did not have quite as bad as of an experience as one guy. The man, unfortunately, he soiled himself when he crossed the finish line.
I like that he did it as he crossed.
At the iconic running event. However, it did not end there. Things got worse. Guy's story was shared on Twitter at as the weekend. As
just like he wanted.
We're discussing the marathon. A woman named Molly sparked conversation by writing, what if you had a boyfriend, imagine, who was doing the marathon, and you went to meet him at the end, and you saw him cobbling towards you, shivering in this little tinfoil shawl, and you got the ick. The tweet went viral, racking up 4.3 million views as people contemplated the situation. And it led to one person to share the sad tale of a man. He wrote, bloke I used to work with in the city literally essed himself as he crossed the finishing line in crippling agony. Over the next 5 days, some of his toenails dropped off, and his girlfriend, who was waiting for him at the finish line, stopped returning his text. His tweet then went viral itself. Many people said stories like this put them off running, as one person wrote. Seems to be a lot of essing yourself involved in running. That'd be hard for me. Another added people should bear this in mind when they start thinking about running a marathon. This is why I won't even try a half marathon. 5K is plenty enough. Someone asked the poster if it was actually him who it happened to. He said, nah, you'd never catch me running a marathon. That took place last Sunday. I had a very similar experience on a half marathon where I thought that was going to happen to me. Granted, I was in the middle of the woods, which was worse. Also, where I was in the woods, there was no place to get off the trail. It was a cliff to one side and straight up the mountain on the other. It was basically cut into the side of a mountain. There's nowhere to go. If you jump down the side of the mountain to try to hide, you're basically going down 30 to 40 feet down a cliff, holding on to trees to get it done. So, not a good experience there.
I just can't believe his girlfriend, like that mortified her so much. Like, I can't return his phone calls.
A couple other disgusting things people have seen in downtown Seattle from a Reddit discussion. I was sitting on one of those benches in a downtown park with a homeless woman, and she plopped down next to me, and she says, cover me. She then pulled down her pants and proceeded to pee and have diarrhea through the slats on the bench. I got up and walked away. I did not need to see that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Here's another one, which is a little bit strange. My brother, guys, has a form of autism. He swims with a special Olympic group. So he wasn't coming out of the shower for a few minutes. My mom said, hey, will you just go and check on him in the guy's locker room? So I did. First thing I see is a boy bent over, stark naked, with a jet of water from the shower aimed right onto his anus. He had the biggest and most pleasurable smile on his face. I could have easily lived without seeing the look on his face as the water hit him in the bung. And I saw my parents having sex once. Then not 3 hours later, I walked in to tell my sister what I saw, only to realize that her boyfriend was over and they were having sex and doing it as well. Oof. Our question, what do you wish you had never seen, or what do you wish no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jenny. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
How goes it?
It's going great,
We're
man.
doing good, Jenny. How are you?
I'm great. Sitting here, listening to you guys tell stories about people touching themselves.
Well, that's something that you probably did not want to see.
Oh, God.
Once again,
I think she missed the point of your
here
question.
are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
How about you? Yeah, I don't want to see that either.
Sucker, mother,
Not what we meant.
please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back to the show. No, it's all right, man.
Oh, Jenny,
It's all right.
you just can't cuss on the radio.
Okay. I apologize.
So what did you see, or what did someone see that you wish they had?
I was a freshman in high school, and I was a cheerleader, so I needed attention, clearly. And one day we were walking to lunch. We're on our way down the hill, and a bunch of guys were driving by, and they whistled at us. So I turned around to, be cute and all, and turned back around, clotheslined myself on a rearview mirror, and turned. Everybody stopped and laughed, and there I am laid out in the snow in my cheerleading uniform, laying on the ground, not being cute.
Oh, it knocked you all
I'm sure
the way
you were
down?
still cute, but yeah, you just probably look like a moron. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I got a secret for you. Had no effect on any guy.
Didn't you walk into a sign or a...
I walked into so same thing. I'm walking to work, and between my place and work, there was Towson University, whatever it's called. Anyway, and a lot of hot chicks go to the school. Well, it's like
that is a fact.
Without a doubt, right? So it's like one of the first days of spring where the temperature's actually warm, maybe 78, 80 degrees. I'm walking up the street, and their quad, as it were, is between the main road. And there's a very busy road, York Road in Baltimore. Between the road and then their building is maybe 100 yards back from there, and that entire space just has green space, and all of these chicks are now out. Well, dudes are out too. Didn't notice them. But all the chicks are out in their bikinis, man, and I'm just like, oh, God, yeah. So it's maybe 3 blocks I get to walk along here, and I don't realize how hard I'm staring, but I'm definitely staring because these women look fantastic, and I'm soaking this all in, and it just... And I realized I walked directly into the branch of a pine tree. But what made it worse was it didn't knock me down like her caller, but knocked my glasses off, my hat falls off, and then everyone on this busy-ass road was just honking at me, smiling. They understood, but the bad part about it was when they started honking, all the chicks that were in the green space, now they're looking. It was just so obvious. And I'm like, I'm embarrassed, yeah, but I would do it again because they were worth looking at.
That's the hardest thing with, as far as driving goes, I'm pretty good with my phone. I don't text when I drive. I very rarely talk unless it's in the hands-free mode, and, I got my phone up on my, dashboard or whatever the deal is. And very rarely, I know exactly where I'm going. But if I see, like, someone jogging on the Burt Gilman Trail or whatever, for whatever reason, it's like when you see somebody and you just say something out loud and you don't mean to.
Oh,
Whoa, Jesus, didn't expect to see that.
Yeah.
I basically do that with my eyes, and I mouth it in my car, but I realized I just kind of swerved over into the other lane. I gotta focus, Miles. Focus.
Focus, champ.
Focus. What do you wish you had never seen, or what do you wish no one had ever seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Have you ever noticed how celebrities have brighter, whiter-looking eyes? Their makeup artists have a little secret in their kit. Lumify Redness Reliever Eye Drops. Lumify dramatically reduces redness in just 1 minute. It literally happens right before your eyes to make them look brighter, whiter, and more awake for up to 8 hours. No wonder it's so loved by influencers, celebrities, and makeup artists, and has over 6,000 5-star reviews on Amazon. Lumify is also the #1 eye doctor recommended redness reliever eye drop, and it's FDA approved. No bleach, no dyes. Plus, it's made by the eye care experts at Bausch & Lomb. So whether you're on set, on a date, or running on just a few hours of sleep, you can have eyes that look brighter and whiter with Lumify eye drops. When you try it, you'll see that it's what your eyes have been looking for. Check out LumifyEyes.com to learn more.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G, with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Hiring for your small business? If you're not looking for professionals on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. That's like looking for your car keys in a fish tank. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So start looking in the right place. With LinkedIn, you can hire professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, what do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had ever seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Nick. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, about 20 years ago, I was on a road trip with friends. We were in Lexington, Kentucky, and we went out to dinner at a Mexican place. Started bar hopping and started getting the stomach rumbles. And I knew, where this was heading. And so we were going to go to this club. It was like an old rock club. So it was like a dingy old building, college bar. And it was really, when in your head, I got 5 minutes before this becomes really bad. And so we to do was get into the club, beeline it for the bathroom, just, get there. And so we got in. I had to fight through the bathroom was all the way on the other side of the dance floor, so I had to fight through the dance floor, the whole crowd of people. Finally make it to the bathroom, and since this was an old club, there was about 5 urinals lining the wall and one toilet just sitting there right in the middle of the room. No stalls, no walls, no nothing. It was just there. And in that moment, it just made me had to go even more because I think my brain was thinking relief. And so I was looking for another. I was like, whatever. I'll go to the women's room. I don't care what I'm doing. So I walked out. I tried to fight through the dance floor again. Too many people. I can't do it. I just say, screw it. I turn around. I go into the bathroom and I just drop trow right there in that toilet. And I just went and it was bad. And it was one of those. It wasn't like you're done and you're done. It was like one of those. You want to linger there a few minutes just to make sure it all comes out.
Sure.
So I'm in there, and as soon as these guys saw what was happening, it was a loud, crowded place, and I could just hear people still on the other side of the door saying, "Bro, you got to check this out. Come look at this. Come look at this." And so I was just sitting there, I had my head in my hands. This was 2003, so to this day I'm so happy that no one had cell phone cameras because this is the kind of thing that they would have posted all over the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So how many more people came in just to check you out handling your business on the toilet?
I was in there for once I was in it, I was like, well, I'm in it. And so, probably 20, 30 people. That was just people that came in that their friends would go out and grab them and they came in, they looked at me and then they left. And, they had, the door open. So, people, you could see, if you were paying attention, you could see what was happening. But, it was just, there was nothing I could do. And it was just, I just sort of rolled with it. My buddies saw it, and they still tell me, hey, remember that time in that club in Lexington?
Bro, I do remember, guys. Yeah. I remember it quite well.
You have to remind me.
So, did you get a lot of weird looks when you got out of the bathroom? Just other dudes in the club?
No, it was fine. It was it was a college town. It was a college bar. It was 11 o'clock at night. Most people were already,
hammered,
pretty soft. So we got out. I proceeded to have just a fine night. We stayed. I didn't even leave. And it was fine. It was just, as soon as I saw that it was just that one toilet, and it was my brain was thinking relief, and then I was like, okay, I got to find plan B, and it was like, no, dude, we're doing this right now.
There's a toilet, handle your business. Your brain's don't care.
Yep.
It's a meeting.
Yeah, at least there was toilet paper.
Oh, my God. If there hadn't been toilet paper, that's a much different story at that point. I do wonder about, certain bars and restaurants where, and it can be to the men's or women's bathroom, but just if you open the door, it's a clear line of sight to everyone's business. Mm-hmm. I understand, seeing the sink, but, I don't need to see the urinal or the toilets as it is in the ladies' room. And it's just weird because when people have really got to go, they got to go. And it doesn't matter who the human is. It's kind of a universal sign. So I'm waiting for the guy's room. I don't want to say where this place is. And I see a woman walking briskly toward the bathroom. I don't know if she's got a pee poop. Doesn't matter. But, like, she blows open the door. But when the door's open, I see, like, 3 other chicks in there on the stalls because maybe only 2 of them had doors. And it's for one brief second you make eye contact. Whatever. You see them later at the bar, and you have to pretend that I did not see them sitting on the toilet.
Right.
Even though they know damn well you did. Because it's a person I don't know, but for the rest of the time that you're at the bar, you keep meeting eyes. You're not saying anything. It's just one of those, like, look, you're trying to telegraph. Yes, I saw you on the toilet. I'm not going to tell anyone.
I don't know what. I had this situation at a bar in Soto. Mm-hmm. So I went there for dinner, and I'm sitting at the bar, probably there for 25, 30 minutes before the food is served. It's pretty busy there. There's no bar stools open, the whole deal. I just ordered a shot. The food comes out. I take a couple bites of my food. And, like, as soon as the food hit my stomach, I knew that I needed to use the bathroom. Like, that 2 bites pushed everything through, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh, no. So I run to the bathroom and realize they don't have a toilet for men.
Is it just one bathroom?
No, it's men and women, but they don't have a place for you to go, right?
There's no toilet in there.
Correct. It's just a trough.
I mean, I just thought by law, 1 urinal, one toilet.
You gotta have. I would think you have to have a toilet for a dude to take a poop.
Because you know what's going to happen, right? I mean,
yeah, you know what's going to happen. But then you have to ask the bartender, okay, where can...
Oh, because there's other toilets in the back.
Oh, is that it?
Yes.
I did not know that.
That are single use.
Wait, I was like, look, hey, I will be right... I told her, I was like, just save my food for me. I will be right back. And so I drove to the McDonald's and used the bathroom.
Are you serious?
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah, that's just for dudes.
I was too embarrassed to ask.
Jesus. Was it my friend that was working? You should have asked her.
No, I know the guy. I said, hey, man, just...
Yeah, so there is the main men's room right there.
Oh, okay.
That, you're right, is just a urinal. But if you walk back and then make a right, there's a couple single-use
I'll be damned.
toilets and sinks.
Which is like all the privacy you really want.
That's part of the reason I love that place.
When I came back, like my food was cold. They tried to save it for me, but it was this food needed to be eaten hot. So like I was gone for like 15 minutes. There's a coaster over my beer. The place is packed. Like the food's still sitting there when I get back, and I'm just like,
bless you, Mike.
Oh God.
Now,
man, you. He must have been like, what the hell is he doing?
Where did he go?
Yeah.
Oh, totally. I think he thought I went outside to smoke a cigarette. I don't know what he thought. Hopefully.
Now, when you go to McDonald's, do you buy anything or just walk in and go straight to the bathroom?
I just walk. Well, fortunately, when the McDonald's that I walked into...
Right, because it's almost like, hey, man, just give me a Coke.
I came in like the side door back. So like when I came in the side door, it was in the side of the restaurant.
So they don't really make eye contact?
It was right near the bathrooms. So you know how like they have kind of an L shape sometimes? Yeah. It's way back here. I walked in this way. So I just snuck in there real quick. I mean, it was on quickly. I'm out. Fast, drive back, sit down. My food's still there. Like, okay,
yeah. Because like fast food's more lenient than other places. Like if you're going, like,
I did not know that.
I just need to use your bathroom.
I'm like I'm not taking a dump in this.
You have to buy something first. And I go, like, dude, I will do that. Can I buy it on the backside of this? Like you don't understand, man.
If I gotta go do that in a fast food joint, honestly, like I know you don't have to. I'm just like, oh, I'm in here. I got to buy a fry or a soda.
Right.
What do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
When you started telling that story, I would be like, there's no way legally they don't have a toilet. But that place, I know that place very well. It's like, oh, yeah, you got all the privacy, man. There's 2 of them back there. It's great.
I did not know that.
I've handled my business in there.
Hello, Tara. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, guys. So this was about 8 years ago, and I was working at a medical clinic down in Kent. And it was kind of like in a strip mall type of thing. And across the street is the jail, the Kent jail. And if you go out back, basically I went out back with my friend, or my coworker rather. She had a cigarette, and they let some inmates out or whatever. And then, obviously they let some inmates out. This guy starts walking down the sidewalk, pulls his pants down. And mind you, this is 4 lanes across. That's how big this deuce was. And he just took a big one right on the sidewalk. She like spit out her cigarette. We were like, oh my God. We're like, oh damn. We ran inside. And luckily there was no patients at that time because it was the lunch hour, but it was you can't unsee that. That's firsthand. Yeah.
Why do you think he just didn't poop in the freaking jail they just let him out of?
Dude, no kidding. He just felt like just to come out and literally there's traffic and everything, but just literally just pulled. I mean, we were so loud too. We were like, oh, we're like right inside there, like, what's the matter? What's the matter? We were like, oh man, we were both like, we're just like gagging, and we're like, oh my gosh.
Now, did he hear you guys screaming?
Yeah, he looked over and we were like, oh, yeah. He looked over and yeah. So it was, yeah, it was mortifying. That was the worst.
That sounds like it.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that people have done it. I don't know that I've seen someone in the act of doing it.
Oh, I have. Yeah, I have in South Lake Union.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a Saturday afternoon. We're all sitting at a bar. It's one of those cool spots that has like the doors, like all the
garage doors.
Garage doors. And it's kind of a, South Lake Union. It's not a dive bar at all. And we're sitting there. I was sitting there with our buddy Jay, and we just look out there, and I'm like, that guy is pooping in that bush. And like, I felt bad for the restaurant workers because people were in there eating too. We were just at the bar, but it's like, and honestly, it was me. Oh man, he's pooping right there.
I've seen a massive pile of poop in South Lake Union. Definitely human turd, but it's in an alley, not a bush. And my doctor was there for a while. So I remember I go there, and there's just I'm smoking a cigarette, and that's when I notice it. And it's just huge. It bugs me, and I just think to myself, man, it's got to suck to be part of the janitorial staff, right? Well, 2 days later, it's still there, starting to dry. And I'm like, I can't believe, right? And this is a busy part where a lot of people go from building to building. I cannot believe they haven't done anything about it. I go back 2 days after that, and I realized they had not cleaned up the poop, but what they did do was take one of the dumpsters and roll it in front of it. Yeah. That was it. So you couldn't see it, but it was still there. I'm like, damn. You didn't even clean this. You just rolled something in front so no one can see it.
I was on a bus up here one time, and as we're coming into Seattle traffic, we are slowed to a stop at this point, and over there where a lot of our friends like to hang out, there was one dude. Usually when you relieve yourself, you find a corner, you find a wall or a tree, a bush or something like that.
Usually, yeah.
This dude in all his glory facing the freeway just releases it and just starts going right there like, really? I'm staring at this right now. Are we really doing this?
I take that back now. Ted, the chick you say is the, what do you call it, most confident woman in the world.
Yep.
Walks around here every once in a while. She's shirtless. Sometimes she's clothes.
Most times she's just screaming.
Who knows? Screaming. And she was standing on the bridge over I-5, and I'm talking to someone else, and their back is to her. And I realized she's just pooped in her hand, and she's throwing it just down to I-5. And I don't think she was doing it to be mean. It just seemed like, what else would I do with it?
Man.
I thought a million things, but yeah, I want to say at least 3 of them popped out, and I'm like, I cannot believe I'm watching this.
Taken out of here one day, I got to run all the way down there, and I got to book it down there in order to catch the nearest bus. So I am moving on down there, and the entire time I'm running down that hill, I'm looking down to the street that my bus is going to cross on, just to make sure that I don't miss the doggone thing, right? I look for a half a second in front of me, and I am 2 steps away from stepping in a big old mud pie that's sitting right there on the doggone corner, dude. That was foul. Same area.
Look, man.
Same area.
Lime bikes and human excrement. If you got to do it on the sidewalk, can you at least put it on the side of the sidewalk?
Yeah.
That's all. Turds and scooters.
What do you wish you had never seen, or what do you wish no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, you fine gentlemen.
Hola.
I've been listening to your show for years. I love you guys. I've never called in. I'm honored to be on the show. So my father was autistic, and he was a weirdo. But, everyone's dad's weird. He's been dead 7 years this June, but there's stuff about him that's bizarre to me that I wish I would have talked about with him as an adult, like, why did you do that? And one night, and this isn't gross or disgusting necessarily, but it's just, I wish I would have talked to him about it before he died, because I'm like, what was going through your head? So one night when I was like 12, I walked down the stairs. I just wanted to get a glass of water. I woke up and it was parched. And I saw the refrigerator light open from the stairwell. And I was like, what's going on there? And my dad is standing at the open refrigerator holding a stick of butter in his hand. And I just watched him take a huge bite out of it. And I just backed up the stairs. I just went back upstairs and went to bed because I was like, I don't No, because I was 12. I was like, do adults just eat butter in the middle of the night?
He
publicly.
might have been sleepwalking and sleep eating, but he might just really like butter. I don't know.
And this is his chance to just do it the way he wants to do it.
Well, the other thing, to your point, Thrill, about doing it the way he wants to do it, so my dad was a heavy guy, and he ate really
Wait a minute.
poorly. And it was,
the man eating a stick of butter in the middle of the night, he was a heavy guy. I'll be damned.
Yeah, right. But my mom was super hard on him about what he ate. Like, my mom was one of those nitpicky people where whenever we went out to eat, she'd be like, Robert, you can't eat that. You can't eat this. And so I kind of think, like, maybe when Mom was asleep, he was like, now's my chance to eat a bite full of butter.
I guarantee it. Look, man, as my father's gotten older, you go to the doctor, and it's not like he's in ill health, but my father's made the mistake of being honest with my mother. So the doctor just says, like, hey, maybe you want to cut back on. Not because you're dying, just you're getting older. So my dad will tell my mother, oh, the doctor says I should cut back on. My mother takes this as,
you can't eat that.
You will not eat this in my presence, right? So it's like peanuts, vanilla ice cream. These are his go-tos all the time.
You can't give up peanuts and vanilla ice cream. That's not fair to any human being.
Well, look, Miles, like anything, it's like the people that secret smoke. He hasn't, but my mother has no verifiable proof that he's still mowing us down. But she did point out, she'd gone out of town for like 2 or 3 days, like a ladies' weekend or whatever. She's like, I come back home, your father, who's a very calm guy, a very nice man. She's like, nothing about him seemed different. She goes, I go into the kitchen, I go to throw something out, open the trash can. It was like 3 empty containers of vanilla ice cream, a couple empty Planters, jars of peanuts.
The best.
And she's like, I didn't say anything. I'm like, you can't say anything.
And I know as a lover of both of them, he takes a scoop of that ice cream, and then he covers it in delicious Planters peanuts on top, and then he eats it.
He does not a mix and match guy.
I bet he does.
He really does.
I bet if you ask him, he says,
oh, he'd tell it straight. He doesn't.
Does he love a peanut buster parfait from Dairy Queen?
No, I'm telling you.
Really?
He likes them separate.
Damn.
But the point was, my mother goes, I couldn't find any other trash. Like, there was nothing else.
So that's all he was eating was peanuts and ice cream?
Yeah, and I said, look, man, you went out of town. Of course he did.
And he probably paid the price. He probably was on the toilet.
I'm sure whatever the price is that the doctor said is exactly what he went through, but it's worth it. But part of it is like, because you binged on it, right? If you said you can't drink anymore, you go, okay, I've been clean for a month. You go out of town, well, I'm going to drink heavy. That hangover is different than my Monday through Friday hangover. You know what I mean? When you do it in doses. So it's like, look, you went out of town. Of course, if my wife goes out of town, I eat all the Indian food I can freaking eat. Because she doesn't eat it. She doesn't forbid me from eating it, but I know it's not going to be dinner. I know it's not going to be lunch. My mouth waters over that stuff. As soon as she goes out of town, like, yeah, I'm getting some buttered chicken, man. Hell yeah. Ask Castle about Chinese food when his wife goes out of town.
Same difference.
It's like the first thing he does.
What do you wish you had never seen, or what do you wish no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Dude, I had that boxing match years ago. That's what I did. Then, we had trained for months, but for the last 2 months, my buddy Rob, who's my coach, he's like, no sugar, no booze, no weed. We gotta focus in. Cool. So after the fight, go out that night, drink a bunch of beer, smoke a bunch of weed. Next day, go to a Husky game. I think we just tailgated.
Right.
I went back to my house. I got a couple buddies in town. There's only like 5 of us. I'm like, we're ordering like 3 large pizzas. Pizzas, chocolate-covered cashews, anything you could think of. And I'm just mowing it. And I puked my brains.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like a child. It was just like,
I got a tummy ache.
Yeah.
Not for being sick or drunk, just because you ate too much.
I ate
Dude, I'm telling you, I ate like a whole bag or container of chocolate-covered cashews.
What do you wish no one had ever seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Inside every California avocado is a story. It's shaped by idyllic conditions, full of rich soil, gentle rain, and friendly California sunshine, where avocados flourish. Crafted with care by dedicated local farmers who are committed to responsible, sustainable growing. The best avocados have California in them. To understand why, all you have to do is open one up. In season now. Visit CaliforniaAvocado.com to learn more.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime. Made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hey, Whatcom County, the holidays are over and lots of Americans are financially drained. Luckily, Bayside Coin and Jewelry pays top dollar for scrap gold, jewelry, and gold, silver, or platinum coins. If you have a pile of old jewelry or a stash of silver dollars, bring them into the store and see what they're worth. Or visit PacificRimCoins.com/calculator to get an instant quote using our free scrap calculator. That's PacificRimCoins.com/calculator for an instant quote.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Aerosmith tickets coming up. We'll give you the secret word of 420 when you hear that. Text that word to 206-803-ROCK in the meantime. Our question, what do you wish you had never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do?
Sorry, we're talking about things that you'll do if your significant other goes away, especially with diets, right? So my mom goes out of town, my dad, vanilla ice cream, peanuts, guarantee. Somebody here says, my grandfather is a diabetic. He sat one night with a cannoli, a snifter of scotch, a cigar, his insulin, and a meter. So he would take a bite of cannoli, sip of scotch, and draw on the cigar, then check his blood sugar. If it was okay, he'd repeat. If it was high, he'd take a shot of insulin and then return to his cigar until it was okay to resume.
Oh, man.
I like that. He's got a system.
Well, I lived with a person for a while who was ended up being vegetarian for 4 years. So whenever they would go out of town, it was like, you know what? It's meat city, man. I mean, there was so much. I went nuts. Whether I went out, whether I came home, I'd pick up steaks, I'd pick up pork chops, bacon, all of the terrible things. And I'd make a pound of bacon and put it in a Ziploc. I'd just go to the refrigerator, just pick one out, eat it. I'm like, bacon.
That's the move. Mike, your wife was a vegetarian for a while, right?
Yeah, she was vegan for a hot minute, too.
How long is a hot minute? How long did you have to endure that diet?
When I met her, she was vegan, and I feel like within the year she had gone back to kind of vegetarian.
And then what was the dish where she said, "I will eat meat again"?
It was things with cheese and it was ice cream. There was a cupcake shop down in Vegas called Sprinkles, if I'm not mistaken,
right.
and that had a cupcake there that she really, really wanted, that she remembered from like her first trip out there. We went down there. She was like, "I'm going to break my veganism for this," and she did. She was sorely disappointed. But
really?
Oh yeah, it did not hold up. But then she.
I remember her kind of tiptoeing in here and there. We'd go get barbecue on a day off, and she'd be like, "I'll try a little piece of chicken."
You know what it was, dude? You know, and that Ted's exactly right. She started kind of dipping in from time to time. I think the one that actually really kicked it. We had a party. I was not supposed to bring her to this party, unbeknownst to me. I thought there was kind of open invitation. It was not. It was for Castle's birthday. It was down at the Met, and we were down. Down there, right? And I brought her. And as soon as we showed up, nobody else had brought anybody. So I was like, okay, just hide right behind me. Just sit there. Don't say a word.
I remember that. I didn't realize that was the thing.
She didn't order anything. She just ate off my plate. But I remember I got this nice steak that night, and I carved off a piece. I said, I'm just going to leave this here on the side of the plate. And then I just kind of enjoyed the conversation over here. When I looked back, it was gone. She went, that was so good.
Mm-hmm. By the way, let your wife know, hey, man, like, if you show up at one of these events, it's on the corporate card.
It is.
Order what the hell you want.
Sure.
Order any freaking thing you want.
It was just odd when he got there.
Yeah.
Correct. Right. Because there was nobody else had brought anybody outside of the group.
Who brought it up first, you or her? As far as
it was kind of universal to both of us, and then our buddy Dave did come in and have a conversation with us. Like, why was she there?
Oh,
I'm sorry. I didn't think so.
What do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
So I should have told you. I will say, I've had some good, very thrill. I've had steak at your house. It's delicious. Miles, you do good steak. I've even gotten good at it, but just the ovens and everything are different. When you go to I remember the first time going to a Ruth Chris or something. It blows your mind how good it is.
Like, I've never eaten steak before.
Yes.
Yeah, I've eaten beef that you have given me, but if this is steak, that is not what I've eaten.
Yeah.
Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey.
Hola. Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, so this happened, I don't know, early 2000, probably somewhere around there. I'm a audio guy for bands, and I was out with this band that they're well known, and it was my first day. I started as their monitor guy, and it was my first day there, and we were doing a festival for 20 or 30,000 people, and they were headlining, and on the side of the stage, in about the middle of the set, the lead singer looked at me and pointed to his ears. They were wearing in-ears, and if you wear in-ears, you wear these little wireless packs.
Yeah.
And frequencies sometimes mess with them, and so he pointed at his ears. Something's wrong, and so I soloed him up on the board, and I could hear it. So I thought, his pack's messed up. So I run out, I grab another pack, and I run out. And while he's singing the song, I stand behind him. I kneel down to change his pack. And he turns around and he grabs my head and he F's my face, and
and did the crowd cheer, by the way, when he did this?
Oh, they screamed. Everybody screamed and laughed, and and so then I realized nothing was wrong with his pack, and I ran off.
So he set you up.
He set me up.
Do we know this band?
You do know this band.
Okay. Do we know the lead singer?
Do you? Yeah, you know the lead singer, and actually, another story is a year later. I was not the monitor guy anymore. I was the front house guy. This was right about the time when you guys first started streaming around, and so when we would set up, I would play your show. I would play it through the PA.
Uh-oh.
With this day, the lead singer was standing next to me, and Miles, you said you started talking about this band. And you said some stuff that was, it wasn't bad. It wasn't, you called them kind of generic or something like that. And the lead singer was standing next to me, and he goes, "Who is this guy? What's this?"
Well, what was the? If you don't mind me asking,
now I'm dying to know.
Can you give us a hint?
Just who that band was, not the singer effing your face, but maybe that guy.
What? They're a great band. I guess I could tell you they're an Atlanta Collective Soul. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Miles is right. That's not even an insult. They are very generic.
Yeah,
but not
bad. It was It was funny because Ed was standing right next to me at the time when you said that, and he goes, what is this? Who is this guy? What are you playing? So,
now, are you kind of mortified in that moment? Did he think you're playing this just to piss him off?
No, I laughed.
Okay.
And he, they're, you know what? He didn't care.
They shouldn't. They have a rabid fan base. The band does incredibly well when they tour. I mean,
but I mean, he's still a dude standing there getting ready for a show. On the radio, you got Miles Montgomery saying you're generic and boring.
But the way Miles said it in the instance, it wasn't like he wasn't bagging on him or not. He was talking about other things, and he goes, and he names bands, and he goes, oh, blah, 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 bands, generic bands, like blah, 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 blah.
Gin Blossoms, Collective Soul. Thank you.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Right.
And it was in that thing. So, but it was just kind of funny that Ed was right there. So.
That is fantastic, man.
Look, trust me. People have asked me what I've done for a living before, and I tell them the show, and they go, oh, I know that show. I hate it.
I know.
My wife hates it. I'm like, well, it's not for everybody. They're like, yeah, man, I tried that like 2 or 3 times. You guys are just not funny.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, man, thank you for trying.
In their defense, they're great guys, and they're a great band, actually.
They're very tight.
They are generic. I wouldn't say it like Miles does and hurt someone's feelings, but, he's not wrong.
Yeah. Look, man, there's Seattle bands that are very popular, and I don't like them. I mean, there's Smashing Pumpkins, and they're not my cup
They're
of
from
tea.
Seattle?
No,
but Jesus.
No,
I would have known that by now.
They're from Chicago. But either way,
I could tell with their rough exterior.
I do not like Green Day.
I tried. I went out and bought a bunch of their vinyl, and I thought maybe I'll find some Smashing Pumpkin stuff that I liked. And it just turned out as the more I listen to the album, the more I'm like, Melancholy is overrated.
You think?
In my mind.
I like
there's something for everybody out there. Trust me, that's the great thing about music is, I like things that a lot of people don't like at all. And I'm
a Faith No More fan. There's 6 of us. 5 of them are in a band, and then there's me. But the thing is, the 7 of us, right? So people make fun of me, but ever since I was even a kid, I'm like, your opinion does not affect how I feel. Like, I don't care. You don't have to like them. I'm just saying I like them.
Right. Well,
so Collective Soul, you are exceptionally generic, but that said, you got more fans than I do, dude.
Look, when the Seattle scene burst out, there was a handful of bands that came out. I didn't mind Stone Temple Pilots. I thought they were a pretty good band for sure, and I still do. Blind Melon, I couldn't get it. I bought the album.
I only heard the one song.
I bought the album, and I'm like, I don't get it. I mean, I know they have a song, but past that song, I don't get it. I don't get the band. Or like I can listen to Spin Doctors. They're a little kooky and weird.
I could not.
This is a very interesting, unique band. They do not sound like anybody else. They might not exactly be my cup of tea, but I get why people like them.
Well, you have like Seattle, in my opinion, you had like the Seattle grunge thing.
Yeah.
But then you're right. There's that weird 90s Toad the Wet Sprocket, Spin Doctors.
Right, Gin Blossoms.
Yeah.
It was okay.
But I realized years ago, my opinion means nothing in music. It really doesn't. Because back in the day, we used to let A&R reps, right? They would find a band, they kind of work with this band, and they would solicit record labels as well as solicit radio stations to give them play. And I realized I have very strong opinions, but my opinion is always in the minority because some bands I would have never, ever signed. Like if they played me their demo, I would have yelled at them to get out of my studio, waste my time with this crap. Poison. Well, they went on to sell millions upon millions of records. And I realized there's all the Smashing Pumpkins came to me. They'd be like, I'm not playing this crap. Are you kidding me? They went on to sell millions. So I go, you know what, man? Whatever it is I like, just assume other people don't.
Right.
Yeah. The bands that I would have turned down, and not because I have anything against them, I just think they suck as a band. So if they'd sent me their debut, whatever. Like, I'm not signing this crap. I'd have been fired in like 2 years. And they're like, you realize all of our competitors signed every single band you turned down, and collectively they've sold 50 million albums.
If there was a band that was a rock band that was playing in the area of where I was working in Frederick and Hagerstown, I did this thing where I did the midday show. So I would do an acoustic lawn lunch show.
Yep, that was big for a while.
Okay, because we had a big yard and a big field out in front. So if a band was coming into town at noon, we would set up a table out there. I would go out there. There were stools and everything else. It was a free show. You came up, you do your thing, and then you play for an hour, and then you go and do your gig later on that night. Well, this week, the band was live. So Ed's father at that time was the lead singer's dad was the manager. So
I know the tour. I was going to say I've done one of those once in my life. It was the acoustic things. It was WHFS in Baltimore, but it was live, and the reason I went, it was because the girl that I was with at the time, who was an absolute smoke show, really wanted to go.
Okay.
That's the exact same tour.
I had heard two songs. We played Lightning Crashes and one other song. And they were both fine. There's nothing wrong with the songs. But the dad is talking big game, man. And he's talking to me beforehand about, some of the things they're going to do and where they're going to travel to and blah, blah, blah. And it all sounded very popular. He's like, I'm telling you right now, he said, this band, he said, is going to be bigger than U2. And I said, trust me, man, on a global perspective, I know enough about U2 to know
you're wrong.
That you're never going to be as popular as U2, whether you like U2 or not, as far as popularity goes. And I said, also, man, you're opening for the Smithereens tonight. You guys better kick some serious ass because they're going to kick you off the stage. Because the Smithereens don't F around when they get up on stage. I mean, they're straight ahead rock and roll. Yeah. And I went to the show, and sure enough, I mean, they did a good set. Sure. But then the Smithereens came out, man, and I mean, they just blew the house down. A band that no one even cares about, no one likes, no one.
Right. But if you like them, you like them. And you're one of the 500 people at the venue.
I was like, this is a bad place to start out opening up for this band, man. 'Cause that's a tall order if you see them live. What do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
I feel pretty confident if we play anything on the station, we've been working here 19, 20 years.
Yeah, 19 years.
Right. If you guys hate it, and everybody thinks it sounds too poppy and I like it, it's going to be a hit.
It's going to be a smash. You be the guy I hire. Like, I'd have to beg the record label, look, before you fire me, I hired this assistant named Ted. Well, what is he going to do? If I really hate something and he says, I don't know, man, I kind of like it, then we're gonna sign this band because they're going to start telling me, and I don't know why, and I will not agree with him, and I will still hate the band, and I think they will suck, but we're here to make money. And if he says, I don't know, I kind of like it, they're going to sell millions of copies. That's it.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk when Imagine Dragons showed up on our station. I was like, I like these guys.
And what do you know?
Look at the top selling artists in Seattle history, right? I mean, if you look at it in perspective, who's number one?
I don't
Hendrix.
No,
Quincy Jones.
Kenny G.
Oh yeah,
Kenny G's number one. Train from Issaquah. They're up there too. They're in the top 5 or 10.
And listen, Train. If you're listening,
I love Train.
And
they're a great band.
They're awful.
They're awesome.
I have heard.
They are awesome.
I saw them live, so I know you were lying.
No, they opened for Hall & Oates.
And they were awful. They were. It's not that they were. Let me rephrase this. They weren't awful. And if they're listening, look, guys, as people, I've heard you're really, really cool. So it's not that you guys are awful on stage.
I like it.
Here's the thing: you're great on stage. My issue was you played Train songs. Like, if you had done a bunch of covers, I'd think, what? Sorry, man, I do not like them. And it doesn't matter, because you know what they do? Have sex with lots of women and count their money. I'm just saying, I don't like them. I think they're god-awful. I really do. And they have the kind of name, I don't know anything about them, but I see the name Train. I figured, okay, probably a rock band, right? It's something big, it's heavy, it's a locomotive, man, smashed through a brick wall. Boy, I was disappointed when I heard that. I'm like, this is not, they should have been called Trolley.
Trolley.
You can't be called Train and start with this.
Oh, come on now.
Really?
How about the Scooters?
The train's just getting started. Train doesn't go 60 miles an hour out of the gate.
This
Start
is a
slow,
scenic
baby.
thing with old people, and you're like looking at the mountains, but you're not in a hurry to get anywhere.
See, I'm the opposite. I see me and Mike in his backyard, sunny day.
And that's why they made millions. Because you like it.
This is
that's
not bad
my
at all.
point.
There's some deck lights on, man.
Get the hell
This does
out of
not
my
suck.
office.
You know what sucks?
When it's twilight outside, the deck lights are on, the beer's flowing. We're getting laid tonight when this song
Yes,
comes
you
on.
are.
Yeah, I know that.
Yes.
I'm not saying there's not strategic value.
Put Peaches on. See what happens. Nothing. I'm just saying.
If you get laid because you played Peaches, it means you paid her to have sex with
You
you.
could put on Death Cab for Cutie. Got a good chance of getting laid. You put on Peaches, man, everyone leaving the party. He's playing Peaches. I'm out.
Mike, you're rocking back and forth like you're Stevie Wonder.
Damn right.
Okay, back on track here. What did you wish you had never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Yes. Hello, Debbie. Welcome to the men's room.
Debbie.
Hello, guys.
Hola.
Yeah, so about in the late 1980s, I had this roommate, a guy, and we went out to eat at a Mexican restaurant during happy hour because, of course, you don't have money. And he got up from the table, and I thought he was going to go use the restroom. Well, a couple minutes went by, and I'm looking out the bar window, and he's standing in front of the bushes and the flowers paying. We left shortly after that. I couldn't believe it. And he was so S-faced that he had no recollection of it the next morning. I had to tell him.
Also, he spent the night with you anyway.
He's my roommate.
Okay, your roommate. So it wasn't like...
late 80s,
Gotcha.
1980s. Yeah.
Well, see, I think with roommates, that's fair. As long as he's got a designated ride home, he's good.
Yeah, one thing I learned about having
that was
roommates...
Me. I was the driver.
After having roommates, roommates are... They're like the United Nations of people. Right? You just don't know necessarily what to expect with each one of them, but all of them do something a little weird.
Oh, yeah.
It's a guarantee, man. Like you said, guy poops with the door open. Like, look, man.
Or leaves the poop in the toilet because he gets right into the shower and then forgets to flush it when he's out every single time.
I know this isn't
he showers.
the worst thing in the world. Cosmically speaking, this is not important. However, within these four walls, I find it very important. Can you please flush your turds down the goddamn toilet? Please.
Yeah.
Please.
What do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Kristen. Welcome to the men's room.
What's up?
Hola.
All right, so, sometimes you hear that prompt and you're like, I got to tell this story. So my mom had a family friend. We had a family friend, a friend of my mom's growing up, Andy. He passed away about 5 years ago now, but interesting fella, problem with boundaries, but we used to go camping a lot. One night we're out camping. I don't know, maybe we were far from the bathroom or what, but Andy decides, around the fire that we're done for the night. He's going to go to bed. So he goes to his tent and he sets up his lantern like behind him so that you could see the silhouette of him like perfectly mapped onto the tent wall like a comedy movie, I swear. And we could kind of see him doing his thing or whatever, changing it. And then he pulls out this like 2-liter bottle with some liquid in it. And then we see his shorts come down. And then we could see him very clearly peeing into this 2-liter bottle in his tent at this campsite.
You said you were camping?
Yeah, we're camping.
Why didn't you pee in the freaking woods where every other animal pees?
I know. I don't understand. It didn't make any sense. Like, he's a big guy. Like, maybe he had a hard time getting around, or like, I'm not sure. I think he had a hygiene thing or something.
Dude, I also think it's hard.
Hygiene?
I think it's really hard to pee in a 2-liter bottle.
Yeah. Accurately,
It's
yes.
a lot easier to pee on a tree.
That's why road trips use Gatorade bottles.
Because it's got a wider mouth. The problem is you got to dump it out halfway through and learn to cut your stream off.
Yeah.
Because you'll fill it up. That's interesting.
Did you ever bring it up to him like, brother, we're in the woods. Why didn't you pee in the trees?
I just feel like, that's probably a good way to start the conversation. But we felt like, how do you ask a guy, like, why are you peeing in a bottle? And you'd have to admit to him that you saw him, like, whip out a schlong. And
I would just tell him, like, we saw your silhouette, so we saw everything you're doing. We're just confused why you pee in the bottle when we're in the middle of the freaking woods.
Are you fishing?
No, it was just chilling. Like, we're just car camping.
No, I
like,
mean right now. What is that sound in the background?
Oh, I'm driving.
Are you on a covered wagon or something? I mean, it's a weird noise in the background.
No, my timing belt is all messed up. You're probably hearing some of that screeching every once in a while.
You got to get that fixed.
Yeah, I guess that's
That sounded like a little real.
Never be on time.
It did. Or like he's on a boat or something. I don't know.
Our question, what do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Who sucks less? Is on the way right after emails on our question, what do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Dave. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, Mitchell.
Hola.
All right, quick story. Something I wish nobody saw. But anyways, me and two other buddies were hunting in eastern Montana for about a week. All said and done, good to go. Let's head home. We'll stop in Missoula for the night, have a good hotel, shower, food, all that. My buddy goes, we got to go to the strip club in Missoula. Okay, sure, why not? So me and my buddies walk in. There's about 6 of us total. That's counting me and my 2 buddies. Well, I lean over to let one slip. About 90% sure it was just going to be, some gas, and it wasn't. I look over to my buddy. He looks back at me, and, oh, that's not a good face. I go, no, it wasn't. I go, well, you know what? Whatever. I'm going to go to the bathroom, take off my drawers, throw them away. Might make the lap dance a little bit interesting, And as I do my business, I flush the toilet, come out with my underwear in my hand. Guy's looking right at me, and he goes, that sounded pretty bad. I go, yeah, it was. And then we both made eye contact on the underwear at the same time. And he goes, well, have a good day.
Yeah.
And that was about the end of the story. And we made eye contact in the club afterwards and kind of just gave the old nod and went about our business.
It was understood.
It was understood. And,
Well, how would you how would you rate a strip club in Missoula, Montana? Good, bad, what?
It was a Tuesday night, Miles. It was what you expect for a Tuesday night in Missoula.
Okay, I've never been there. So
was that the one out by the giant truck stop?
Man, Ted, I think you're right. To be honest, usually if I'm driving, I know exactly where we are. I wasn't driving, but I can't imagine there being more than 1 or 2 clubs in Missoula, yeah?
Yeah, and I flew into Missoula once and went to a bar right by the airport, but it's where all the highways meet. And my buddy kind of joking around because we had to drive up north a little bit. He's like, you want to stop at that strip club? And I was like, I'm interested, but I feel like I'm with this. It could be questionable, but yeah.
Oh, it was definitely questionable, but 100% worth it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good to go.
And you pooped yourself.
And pooped. I like
what do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
For the record, once again, Missoula, great town. The scariest airport landing you'll ever have in your life.
Yep. That's the one you always mention. Don't want to.
It just sits in a giant valley surrounded by giant mountains.
Just drop into it.
Yeah.
From the text line says, I wish I never saw my 380-pound, 6'4" mother-in-law riding her 350-pound husband in the buff.
That is a big mother-in-law.
That is, I guess, we're going to have sex. There's nothing you could do. I'm on top today. It's on top Tuesday. Hello, Randy. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
So, late 2000s, Nebraska came to play the Huskies, and a company gave me a ticket, just one single ticket, so I decided to get down there pretty early, way before the game started, and commenced to getting sideways and on tilt just as fast as I could, and leading up to the game, I end up at a tailgating spot that's doing cornhole, and I hadn't ate all day. Well, they had this huge bowl of peaches that had been soaked in Fireball for days. And they were, help yourself to those peaches. And I commenced to probably eating half the bowl, and I'm in a cornhole game and realize, the old stomach's starting to washing machine bubble. And I finally find some porta potties that had maybe 5 different porta potties with 10 people deep. I almost made it. I was one person deep before. The former caller kind of stole a little bit of my thunder, but it started running down the back of my leg, and the shorts I was wearing. To make matters worse, besides the 50 people in line that saw this running down my legs, a mixture of Jim Beam and Budweiser and peaches
and poop
and Fireball. I get in the porta potty, and I'm starting to clean myself up. Luckily, I had a T-shirt underneath the jersey that I was wearing, so I start cleaning myself up and realized I got a pretty bad case of monkey butt, and I used the hand sanitizer on the clean side of this shirt and commenced to trying to clean the monkey butt up, and I screamed like a little girl when that hit the backside of me.
I was going to ask, man, didn't that sting like a mofo?
Like I said, man, just the highest pitched girl scream you can imagine. So, not that it wasn't already bad that they all saw that.
Did you end up going to the game?
I did not. I knew that the shorts were pretty stained. It was going to stink. So, and I was on full tilt. So I skipped the game. I went to my car and realized, hey, luckily I had a pair of sweatpants in there. So I changed into sweatpants, laid the seat back, and as people started making noise after the game, passing me in the car, I finally woke up and decided, it was probably the best thing for me to sleep.
To be honest, did your ass stop stinging by the time you woke up?
Oh, it took a day, man.
Well, I live in Fremont, and there's no easy way out of UW Stadium if you live in Fremont. Now, before the light rail got in there, if you're north or south, it's easy to get in and get out.
Sure.
But when you need a cab, an Uber, just how tight that intersection is with the Montlake Bridge and everything, it's you just need to start walking, because I have had that situation before where I'm like, can I make it to North Lake Pizza? Can I walk that far?
I'm sure they love hearing that.
That is the closest bathroom to me on my way home. Can I get to Vula's? Can I make the halfway point of the I-5 bridge? Because I don't know if I can make it. I had that one time, man, where I was walking back from a game. I'm like, everyone's on the Burke Gilman Trail, so there's no real way to duck off.
I mean, the light rail helps a ton. When I lived on Capitol Hill, there was times where I would just walk home from the stadium, and then once the Huskies were playing Oregon, so I mean, massive game.
Sure,
it's a Saturday night game, and I remember I had a 12-pack of Miller Lite with me, and I was like, I'll just get an Uber. Like, I'm living in Belltown. You just can't get an Uber. I ended up walking all the way around, like, East Lake. And literally just, finally, I was like, halfway there, I was like, screw it. I'm just going to walk to this goddamn stadium.
Yep.
But it was one of those Saturdays in Seattle where, like, a bunch of S's going on.
Of course. Let's schedule everything on one day.
Yeah, and you just couldn't get it.
Close the bridge. What do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
First time I kind of really learned to hate Duck fans, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're obnoxious.
I have heard that about them. They probably think the same thing about Huskies fans, right? Hello, Lisa. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So this is in Arlington about 20 years ago. There was a house, it was kind of a party house. Friends were getting evicted, and they had some shady characters there. There was this one weird guy there. I didn't know him. I went to go help her move one day. I come back, she's like, oh, my God. This is when we had VHS tapes, and you can record them with, video cameras for all those kids out there. This guy, I guess, had went in our house when they weren't there, set up a contraption with, like, a pipe and a tripod, and had anal sex. And he left the VHS tape for everybody to find. I couldn't watch more than it was weird, man. And he disappeared after that too.
Do you think he left it there on purpose?
Oh, I know he left it there on purpose. It was VHS, man. He was going through tape. It was right on top of it.
Okay. Wow. That is very weird. I'm glad you moved.
Yeah, that's why you never saw her again.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to leave you with this one last memory of me.
Our question, what do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? Here's a couple more for you. At a birthday party, I had a 45-year-old heroin addict who was a prostitute squat over my face as I was lying and passed out on the floor. I was 18 at the time, and I woke up to that. Oh. Another thing they wish they'd never seen, a sexy picture of my mother in lingerie. Now, granted, she was not naked, but most of the lingerie that she was wearing was see-through. As a pallbearer for my uncle's closed casket funeral, I was there as my aunt insisted that the casket be opened for her. Inside the casket was a body bag, which clearly just held the collection of pieces left of him. This was a great person in my life. It was hard to see that that's how he ended up.
What did the aunt think she's going to see? I mean, there's a reason they do closed casket. 99% of the time you can piece together why. They were hit by a train. It's going to be closed casket.
But I've been at a viewing where it was a closed casket because the mom specifically said close it.
Okay.
But it was at a funeral home. So, it was a close friend of Bernie and I. So we waited around, and then at the end, they were like, All right, we'll open it for you guys.
Okay.
Which is odd because they had already embalmed the body and everything.
But she insisted that it was closed.
She wanted it closed, I guess, for when people were there, which well, then it's not much of a viewing. But I mean, I don't know. We did it with my dad. We had him in an urn. But Bernie and I were just, because we were young, we were like, we got to see him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Guys, what I wish I'd never saw, a simple text message. I wasn't supposed to see it. It ended my 9-year marriage. But in the long run, I'm glad I saw it. I walked out of a movie theater after seeing some forgettable movie with friends. We turned around the corner of the movie theater, and there was a guy there just going to town. But he had a cup underneath to catch the stuff. Pants down, ass out, going wild. Having himself a good time. We promptly backed up, crossed the street, stopped in a restaurant across the street, and ate a meal. About an hour later, when we left the restaurant from across the street, we could still see the same guy.
Jeez.
Still going at it furiously. Still waiting to land it all in a plastic cup.
Wow.
Our question, what do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Yeah, you got to, if you're on a group text, you got to make sure, I haven't known it in my family. My sister started talking S to one of my brother's friends, but forgot that he was on the group text.
Oh, boy. Surprise, surprise. Yep. Hello, Scott. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, boys.
Hola.
Yeah, I was in my vehicle. I was driving a truck at a time, so I was a little higher up, and we were on First, passing Showbox Market, coming right up on Pike Place Market. Busy summer day. We're stopped, waiting for pedestrians to walk. I look over. There's a guy with a jacket or blanket over his lap, but just masturbating in his car.
In his car?
In his car, and I looked over. It was clear as day what he was doing because the jacket's bobbing up and down in his lap, and I look at him in disbelief, and he looks at me like, yeah.
Yeah, finally, someone saw me.
So, yeah, that one's just burned in there.
All right, let me ask you this, man. Do you think that that's illegal?
Yes.
Well, it's one thing. I would understand distracted driving.
Because people can see you.
But if you cannot see my genitals, I could be doing anything under there. If you're covered, because they get you on indecent exposure, they might get you on lewd and lascivious behavior. Does anyone use the term lascivious outside?
I could go down to Myrtle Edwards Park with somebody.
But if I'm not showing anything, what are you getting? You're making an assumption about what I'm doing.
Lay down in the grass, put a blanket over both of us, and start doing our thing. But I think it's fairly obvious what's going on.
It might be.
So that's public indecency.
But you still have to make an assumption about what someone's doing. I could be scratching my bees for all you know.
That's true.
And I can tell the cops, I'd be like, prove me wrong. What are you going to do?
That's what I told my mom.
Nobody saw anything. I mean, your mom knows better, but I'm saying if the cops rolled up, you got to prove that, bro.
A couple other ones. Guys, I caught my boyfriend's roommate masturbating with my underwear. Another, when I was 9 years old, I saw a guy slice his brother in the chest with a machete. He was a little bit older than me, but it still affected me.
Yeah, I think it would.
And at a Walgreens in Wisconsin, semi-regular customer walked down an aisle in front of me and maybe didn't realize that they were using the bathroom and did both, number one and number two. All down his leg, leaving the remains all down the aisle for everyone to see as he continued to shop.
Damn. I've seen some videos of that. I think it was a lady walked in. I don't know what the store was, but automatic doors. She walks in, she has a dress on, and the first time you watch the video, you don't realize that she just pooped. It looks like she's scratching her butt or adjusting her underwear. Her hand just goes back real quick. No big deal. But there's a guy walking in directly behind her, and you see him do that telltale thing where you stop walking and lift your foot up and do the crane kick from Karate Kid because he stepped in a turd. And then when you watch the video again, knowing what you know, you realize when it looked like she's adjusting a wedgie, she was moving her underwear out of the way so that the turd could just drop unimpeded to the floor. And this guy, who's not thinking that anyone's doing that, stepped directly in it.
Okay. What do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Joe. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So I would go to study at the public library there when I was in college, and I'd go try and find a nice secluded seat in the back, and there was always this old man there with headphones on. And one day I walked behind him and...
Oh, jeez, man.
Once again, bedroom colors, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
See, when I was telling you what not to say, you were kind of talking over me. This is what I was talking about.
Please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
Come on, man. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Good times.
That one's kind of obvious.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you were trying to explain it to him?
Well, yeah, I tell everybody when I run through these things, like, all right, just go right into your story, get right to the punchline, make sure that your radio's turned all the way down, no swear words. And he didn't, no swear.
Yeah, I know.
No swear.
Real
Well,
quick.
apparently you don't.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday. A teenage boy has been convicted of outraging public decency after being seen doing a disgusting act with a horse. Magistrates heard how the 17-year-old, who cannot be named, was spotted by a woman who was using binoculars to check on her horses in a field on May 29th of last year. She said, I think I shouted, "Hey, you better get out of that field. What in the hell are you doing with the horses?" Well, the woman's partner said her actions drew his attention, and he looked through the binoculars. He said he saw the teenager holding one of the tails of the horse with his right hand, with his other hand fully inserted into the horse. He said he was stroking the horse down its neck and down its rear, and then he proceeded to pick the horse's tail up, and you know what? I thought to myself for a minute, what have you just seen? Are you sure you saw that?
That's a fair question.
So I picked the binoculars back up and had another look. That's when I realized he had his whole hand in there. The man rang the police and stopped the teenager from riding away on his bike. He said, I went up to him around the window and asked him to stop so I could speak to him. He said, I love horses. I wouldn't do anything to hurt one. I said, stop, we need to talk. He didn't want to. He said, I don't want to talk to you. The man said the teenager appeared to have a mark on his left arm, and there was a smell which he had never smelt before. The court heard how police arrived at the scene, spoke to the couple, took the teen home, and explained the accusations to his parents. Sarah O'Neill, who was prosecuting, told the court it's accepted that this man had some substance on his arm that had a smell. It appeared to be a sticky type of liquid all over his arm. One of the officers who attended the scene said the teenager had something on his arm which could have been feces, but he wasn't willing to touch it or smell it for health and safety reasons. He admitted it could have been mud.
Think about that, man. You grab your binoculars, you're checking on your horses, and I think the guy, he said the right thing. Like, did I just see what I think I just saw? Let me take another look. Like, who is that worse for?
I mean, nothing sexual, obviously, but something kind of similar with horses. It was in, Pittsburgh, but we're way up north of my buddy's place.
All right.
So we had watched a Steelers game at some bar. It's like quarter wings, $1 beers.
Sweet.
So me and my buddy Bernie, we're hammered. And we pulled up my buddy's girlfriend's house, and he goes, and we're like, oh, she lives on a farm. And he's like, hey, you two are drunk. Stay in the car. Don't mess with the horses. And we're like, why would we mess with the horses? And 2 minutes later, he comes outside and he's screaming at us because it only took us literally 30 seconds to be like, dude, those are real horses. Let's go climb the fence and try to ride one.
Jesus
Did
Christ.
you?
We were my leg was over the fence as the horses were coming over. When he was like, well, you two, what are you two doing? And we were like, nothing.
He literally told you, don't mess with the horses.
Yeah, and I don't know if that put it in our drunk mind, but it was like 30 seconds. Teddy, we should go try to ride a horse. I was like, hell yeah, we should.
What do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Alan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys.
Hola.
Hola, bicholas.
So, Alan, what did you see?
I used to live down in Lewiston, Idaho, and I worked for a boat company down there. And one of the worst things I've seen is I had access to a very, very expensive boat, and that was my boss's. And I had to go do recoveries.
Recoveries.
Yeah. Recoveries.
Folks that didn't have a very good time out there.
On the lake?
How many times did you have to do this?
I did it 11 times.
11? Good. How long did you work there?
About 8 years.
So it's a little more than 1 a year. You have to go out and recover. Are the bodies generally in the same condition, or are there any that stick out more than the others?
They were, when you pick them up after, they looked horrible.
Are these just people involved in boating accidents, or just drownings, or what was the...
Rafting and drownings.
Rafting. Okay. All right. That makes a little bit more sense.
I
don't know if I'd want to be a part of that guide service, knowing that there's all those bodies in the water and there's only 2 or 3 guides available.
There's a reason why they call them life jackets.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Was that a commonality among all the victims?
I never recovered anybody that didn't have a life jacket on.
Did you ever able to save someone who did?
Yeah. I've done that. But
okay, all right. Oh, that's a good lesson.
So you like everybody, right? Like right? I see what you're saying. People you recovered generally weren't wearing their life jacket.
No, they were not. No.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's right there in the name, man. Like, just put this bad boy on. Save yourself some trouble. I'm a strong swimmer. I understand. Put it on.
And rivers, man.
Yeah,
that's a different ballgame.
Coming up, the return of Who Sucks Less, and we've got your emails coming up next from the men's room at KISW.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up?
Well, it's what's down that's got my attention.
Oh?
Yeah, look at that long snake.
Snake? Oh, traffic. Those are cars.
I know they're cars. I'm being metaphorical. If I were a human, I'd ride that Bel Air airport or shuttle. Look at it. It gets you to SeaTac quickly. You can sleep, look out the window, be productive, and it's in the HOV. Hey, maybe it stands for heading on vacation.
Bel Air Airport or Shuttle with 8 round trips daily. Click airporter.com to book your trip today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the men's room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
You want to go see Aerosmith? November 24th, Climate Pledge Arena. The time is now. You need to text the word EDGE. EDGE, like living on the edge. To 206-803-ROCK, your chance to see Aerosmith and the Black Crowes Climate Pledge Arena. Text the word EDGE now, 206-803-ROCK. Okay, we have time for a few emails to the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail.
And one from our question, what do you wish you'd never seen, or what do you wish that no one had seen you do? Guys, as a retired cop, I witnessed many images I cannot erase from my memory. One that stands out is we transported this aggressive woman in her 50s to a hospital. I was talking to my partner, and we heard a ruckus coming from that woman's room. We walked in and noticed the woman was topless, looked like 2 fried eggs nailed on a wall. She yelled at us and said, "You want a peep show?" She then grabbed each one of her flattened boobs and independently flopped them on her chest. You heard each boob hitting her stomach. We ran out of the room and left. Wish I could unsee that. Thanks, guys, and rock on. That from Juan from the 884 party.
Ah, okay.
Over in
Lucky Juan, we'll call him.
In Bremerton. Birthday time. Gentlemen, our amazing boy Noah has taken his 9th epic trip around the sun. He earned his black belt last month. Wow, at 9 years old. And we are currently celebrating in Mexico. Hoping Coach Ted could talk about being a responsible black belt as a 9-year-old, and you guys could talk all over each other about your best times in Mexico. Thanks, and keep on rocking. That from Chris.
All right, first of all, son, congratulations. It's pretty impressive. You got a black belt at 9. Now, here's something you got to get used to. With great power comes great responsibility. All right, you can't just go out attacking people. Remember, you're a true martial artist. You should have peace and calm inside you. But if you ever got to use it, open up a can of whoop-ass.
Best time in Mexico.
Oh, best time in Mexico, man.
I've been in Mexico.
Freaking time I go down there. That's the spot I don't want to be at, man. There's no freaking trouble. No matter what anybody says, come back to the best airport. Not the best, but otherwise, always a good time.
What up, bitches? Today is my son Aiden's birthday. He is into pounds and telling cringe jokes. So, can I get some dad
pounds?
Pounds. He's into pounds and telling cringe jokes. I'm not sure what pounds are.
I have no idea. I'm sure it's something cool, therefore I don't know.
Maybe English currency?
Yeah. Well, could be it. Big women?
Yeah, could be. Could I get some dad jokes for Miles and a shut your mouth bagel guy? That from his dad, Steven, in Excelsior Springs, Missouri.
By the way, Steven, check your spelling on that. It's shut your mouth.
I was about to say, that's not what that said in the email.
Hey, we get a lot of birthday requests for that place in
Excelsior Springs?
Yeah.
A lot of people born there, bro.
Yeah. All right, here we go. My 7-year-old nephew showed me with pride the telephone he had just made from a string and 2 tin cans. You guys remember doing that?
Oh, yeah.
I pulled out my iPhone and said, "That's nice. But look at what kids your age make in China." Guys, I like my coffee like I like my women, Ted. Do you know how I like my coffee?
Black?
Secretly alcoholic.
Jesus.
What role could Tom Cruise never play?
What role could Tom Cruise
An
never
NBA player?
A dentist. He can't handle the tooth. My mom and my dad were quite the opposite. My mom was always right. And then my dad left. And finally, one day I changed the light bulb, crossed the road, and walked into a bar. That's when I realized my whole life had become a joke. Let's see here. I love the show, guys. Look forward to listening to you guys every afternoon. I am 59 years old today. I've always wanted a shout-out. So how about a Leroy Jenkins, an owl hitting the window, an andro penis, and the Dirty Germans talking about what kind of construction I'm going to do to my fiancée tonight. Thanks so much, guys, and keep on rocking. That from Chris.
Let's do this. Leroy
Andro penis.
Yeah, I would imagine it's not so much construction you'll be doing, but more demolition, I would think. A little demolition in the tunnel.
Yeah, it's the funniest thing is construction sites have the same thing I have. Hammers and pieces of wood.
Yeah. And a safety vest.
And hard hats.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Take a moment. We appreciate it. We've got some updates on the Men's Room IPA, Black Raven Brewing, and the locations where you can find this delicious beer. Men's Room crew just writing in to say how excited we are to carry the new Men's Room IPA at 2 of our stores.
Nice.
Proper and Earnest in Woodinville. Proper and Earnest and Liquor and Liquor in Tacoma.
Liquor and Liquor.
Liquor and Liquor.
Why does one sound like a law firm and the other one's like, please come here and drink?
I'd hire Liquor and Liquor.
I would hire Liquor and Liquor in a heartbeat.
Keep on rocking, guys. That from Craig. Again, Proper and Ernest in Woodinville, Liquor and Liquor in Tacoma. All the guys, Shree's Truck Stop in South Park has a men's room IPA in their beer cave. If you haven't been there, you should check it out. Amazing selection. And guys, what a fine beer it is. That's on the show. Thank you for the update.
I love a beer cave. You see that at like stores.
What is a beer cave now?
They just usually have a bigger selection, this and that. Just a cooler you could walk into. But I like some places have enough room. They just call it a beer cave.
More of the updated locations. We head to the Delridge Deli, the Tulalip Market, the Mount Si Chevron has the men's room IPA. So does the Handy Mart in Olympia. Safeway in Lacey, Kinsmart, the Hilltop Deli, the Safeway in Kingsgate, the Shell Food Mart on 88th Street, the Clinton Food Mart, along with the Soper Hill Station, Safeway in Burien, Nisqually Market, Puyallup, the Chevron Sunset location, the Safeway in Pinehurst, the Rainbow Mini Mart, the AM/PM at Sahota Mart. And Renton Highlands, you can go to the Safeway. South Tacoma Safeway's got it as well. Total Wine in Olympia, the Safeway on Canyon Road, 7-Eleven on 136th Avenue. The Sumner Truck Stop has the men's room IPA, as well as the Grocery Outlet in Lake Stevens, the Interlake Grocer, Albertsons, the Hagen locations, Lake Stevens and Lake Taps, the Manor Market, Safeway North Proctor, the Longhouse Market in Delhi, and the Roosevelt 76 gas station, as well as Odom Samples in Kent and the 7-Eleven in Puyallup.
Nice.
70 locations that are carrying the brand new men's room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. If you happen to see the beer out there, do us a favor. Shoot us an email to the men's room at KISW.com. Included a picture of the display and the location, and we will help spread the word and get more of that off the shelves as it benefits our fine friends at the 3 local Fisher House locations. Okay, coming up, we'll drink a toast with a shot of the day, but first.
Now, the men's room wants to know who sucks less?
Hey, time for Who Sucks Less. Stephen Throhill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They always suck, but it's up to us to determine out of these 3 stories, which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to follow KISW on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yes, indeed. And as I said at the top of the show, this isn't so much about people as much as it is the man trying to keep the people down. And this first story, our very own Mike Hawk brought us about 2 weeks ago. Let's see here. The city sent a woman a photograph, actual evidence for a speeding ticket that they got her with at the speed camera. The thing was, her car was sitting on a tow truck, but she was still charged for the infraction even though she was not behind the wheel. One Joanne Gibson says her van broke down on the side of the road. Well, she told the local news that she was visiting her daycare center when the traffic violation occurred. But Gibson contested the fine at the East Cleveland Police Department, but she said officials told her to refute that fine with the private company that operates the cameras, which seems like kind of an odd thing, because it seems to me then that camera company should get the money if you're in fact in violation. Whatever the case, she worries that she'll have to pay more on her car insurance because of the legal record. She says, quote, I went into the police station, pushing buttons, ringing the bell to find some help. I don't want anything on my driver's license, and so far I have a good record, and I'm going to try to keep it that way. So again, her car is being towed, but the tow truck driver's speeding, but instead of nabbing the tow truck, they nail her car. She says, quote, how many people did not see that before they sent it to her address? I feel like it's more of a money grab than it is a deterrent. Now, city councilors that recently voted to remove the camera from the street, but it was still assigning tickets to the drivers anyway, which is an odd thing. Meanwhile, Gibson is urging drivers to look deeper into the speeding tickets and fight back, saying, quote, I'm kind of angry about it. And when I get angry, I want to find out what's really going on, and I think other people should come forward and don't pay them. So again, her van's on the back of a tow truck driver speeding, they send her to the speeding ticket. And so far, they won't do anything about it. Now we go to Mississippi, where, it should be easy to explain away.
Stupid.
I know. A Mississippi mom, she could lose custody of her 3 children. This about a year after police officers shot and wounded her 11-year-old son in their home. Sunflower County, Mississippi officials, they referenced the May 2023 police shooting of 11-year-old Adiran Murray, and they accused his mother, Nakala, of neglecting the 3 children, including Adiran, during a domestic incident. So Adiran had called 911 for help. He was seriously injured after Sergeant Greg Capers from the police department shot him in the chest. Now, the court filing argues that an unnamed witness saw the mother and her ex-boyfriend, John Nolden, jump on her during the incident last May. And they say this happened in front of the 3 children. Now, the mother said, as I read what the petition said, I was taken aback. I feel disgusted. Her attorney, who's representing her family, says that the court filed petition is outlandish and suggested a move by the court is in retaliation for her ongoing lawsuit against the city over her son's shooting. Now, she's expected to report to the Sunflower Youth County Court this month, where she will defend her right for sole custody of her 3 children. But the latest move from the Sunflower County Youth, this comes months after a grand jury in Mississippi. They determined there no criminal conduct on behalf of the cop that shot her kid in the chest. But it all started, again, last May. She said her 11-year-old son, she told him to call the police after the father of one of her other children, later identified as John Dolden, came to their home early morning in, quote, an irate mood. After arriving at the family home, police instructed everyone inside to come out with their hands up. But she says that her son, Darren, the one who called 911, he came from around the corner, running toward the door. And that's when the cops opened fire, hit him in the chest. And he suffered a collapsed lung, fractured rib, lacerated liver, etc. But now they're threatening to take away her kids. She's like, I think you guys missed what happened here. And now we go to Atlanta, where a small metro Atlanta business owner, he fought the water company over a large bill. And he lost. So he appealed. And he lost again. But as they say, the devil's in the details. The address in question didn't have a water line. So a guy by the name of Jeff Raw, he runs a small family-owned company called Revive Construction Group. And they appealed the nearly $30,000 bill. And even when a higher up at the water company sided with him, his decision was still overturned. So let's go back to where this began. There's an empty lot on the city's East Lake community. Raw has been building and renovating homes in the city of Atlanta for about 20 years, and he has a routine. He says, quote, I start my process, I order the water meter. Well, Department of Watershed Management employees, they installed a standalone water meter for him in October of 2022. Quote, when the meter was installed, there was not a foundation on the house. There was nothing for them to even connect to. Basically, the meter's delivered. It was 2 months before Revive Construction even began to build a home on the land, but before the dirt was even turned over, the water meter was apparently hard at work. Again, despite of not being connected to anything. 1 month after the water meter was installed, he got a bill for just about $8,900. That's 184 gallons of water in a month. Now, according to the EPA, the average family uses about 400 gallons. Now, bills for an empty lot with no connection to the water meter, it poured into these numbers for the next 5 months, finally coming in at just under $30,000. Well, the Department of Watershed Management, they sent someone out to take a look. And utilities notes reads, well, the meter is not connected to the house. It also said no leak was found. So when the water meter was finally connected in February, the newly built home's plumbing, the water bill shrunk to $13.12. So when it was actually hooked up, the house uses $13 a month. They're billing him for about $9,000 a month and just saying it's not physically hooked up to water. However, still the Atlanta Watershed Management, they denied a bill readjustment.
All right. To me, the worst, Ted, is the 11-year-old that got shot.
What was that story again? The cops show up.
So the kid, the father of, she has 3 kids. The father of one of them shows up in an irate mood. Do not know what it's about, but he starts getting physical. The mom tells her son, the 11-year-old, ends up getting shot, hey, call 911. Before this thing escalates. The cops get there, order everyone out of the house with their hands up. This kid comes running around the corner. Cops just see something coming at him, opens fire, hits him in the chest. And now they're threatening to take away her 3 kids.
Right. So the investigation basically said that the cop was not held liable for shooting the 11-year-old. Well, whatever. But now you're trying to take away the children based on this incident. So to me, that is the absolute worst story out of the 3.
But what she was saying, that they never leveled that threat until she kept her lawsuit against it.
Correct.
So
she filed a civil suit.
Yeah, right. The grand jury said, look, we can't find them at fault because we understand you order people out of a house and you guys were doing that. They just see someone charging them, basically. An 11-year-old kid, but by the time you realize it's an 11-year-old kid, he's already, fired.
So at this point, they're just, it's a vendetta, essentially.
That's basically what she's saying. Like, man, this was not an issue until, right. So when they found the cop, when they exonerated him from doing anything, right, she filed the civil suit. And that's when they came over the top.
See, the kid's got medical bills. The kid got shot.
Yeah.
And no one's to blame for it. So, look, there's more on the hook than you think as far as how long the kid was in surgery, how long he was in the hospital.
Yeah, collapsed lung,
any rehabilitation that he needed, all those different things. It all costs money. The small business owner in Atlanta,
that's ridiculous.
That's black and white based on the fact that you have a bad meter.
It's not even hooked up, man.
Look, there's all
it's
kinds
not even tapped, and you're sending me bills for 9. And
so it's obviously malfunctioning.
And they but it's not, because when they actually hook it up to, when he finally completed construction of the house and they actually hook it to the water line,
it was misreading something.
It was $13. But I'm saying, like, there's nothing to read. It's like saying, I can't watch TV, but you didn't turn your TV on.
But he did not use $30,000 worth of water.
No.
That's
He didn't use any water.
He didn't use any of it, right.
And did he still lose that appeal? Weren't they still like, no, you still have to pay that?
They said they refused to, adjust the bill.
Right.
And
so, that to me sucks the second most. Who sucks less on this one? The woman in Cleveland who was issued a speeding ticket, but the photo was taken as her van was being towed by a tow truck after it broke down. It was a speeding camera or a red light camera. Yeah. Basically could not get the back of the tow truck because it was towing her car. So it took the license plate of the car. She's the one who got the ticket. All things considered, I think out of the 3 stories, that one sucks the least.
Yeah, I mean, that one just involves annoyance and money, right? But like that mother in Mississippi, right? Like, they're talking about taking her kids.
Right.
Which again, there's a way of... If things had played out different, I guess there's some way you could fathom. Maybe the cops are like, there was drugs there, this or that.
There's none of that.
There's none of that. That's what I'm saying. And then also she files a civil suit. Then they're like, hey, we're taking your kids.
And their argument that they're using right now is, well, the kids are in a violent home. She's like, they're not. But when that father showed up, that's specifically why we called 911. We don't want this in the house.
Right. That's what the cops are for.
Yeah, that's kind of her point. Like, that's why we called you, so the things didn't escalate. And now you're telling me I put them in, like, I'm not putting them in danger. I'm trying to do the thing that you're supposed to do to prevent your kids from being in danger. They're just mad. I mean, that's the long and short of it.
Right, and that one, I agree with you, Miles. That one sucks the most because, like, custody is a serious issue that even couples argue over, but I can't imagine having the state.
Right.
So you called to protect you from the idiot father.
Right.
Now being like, oh, you can't sue us for taking your kid. Also, I don't. That is awful. But she should keep the civil suit up too. So it's like, I could figure the cop gets startled or whatever, but like the state should still pay that kid's medical bills. You shot a kid. I'm kind of torn, as I almost want to say the Atlanta one. To me, they're kind of even because that guy...
It should be... That's what I'm saying. This is a case of the man. These things can be easily explained away. The evidence is there. No one even argues that what you're saying is true. They're just saying, we're not going to do anything about it.
Right. His money's a little higher, but Jesus, that is frustrating.
Dude, it's not... It's like your TV's not plugged into the wall, but Netflix is charging me because they say I've watched... Like if it were a la carte.
It'd be like me going to a gas station, getting a Gatorade, and they charge me $60 for gas.
Right.
It's like, look, I parked next to the pump, but I didn't pump any gas.
Yeah, take it up a shell.
Yeah, like I literally just went in and got a beverage. I don't know. I'm torn between which one.
Between two lovers, we know.
I guess the woman in Cleveland, that one sucks the least because her bills are smaller.
Yeah, that's the reason I'd leave that one.
Exactly. Coming up, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up in minutes, we'll drink and toast for the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. Gen Z is recreating MySpace as a new app called No Space, and it already has a 380,000 person wait list.
Damn. Okay.
Basically, what they were
Why
trying...
are they doing that? I'm just curious.
Because a lot of social media these days is inundated with ads, and it's the algorithm that makes them see what you think we think that you want to see, as opposed to like I want to connect with my friends. I want to see what they're doing.
So does this block most of that out?
Would be
for
my
now,
guess. Right.
Until they can make money.
Presumably, exactly. Right. Don't worry, they're going to find a way to infiltrate that space as well. However,
I mean, that's the thing. If you say, "Look, hey, we're cleaning this out. Everyone's sick of it. We're tired of it. Communicate with your friends." And then Budweiser comes along and says, "Hey, man, we'd like to give you $10 million a year to sponsor this." Okay, guys, listen. We're gonna have some Bud sponsors.
Exactly.
But otherwise,
well, the thing too is like Facebook is the biggest,
without doubt.
But like, kids don't care. No, grandmas are on there. I'm on there. I'm in my 40s. You know what I mean? Like my niece and nephew. I think my niece, who's 21, has a Facebook just for like rant. Like she's never on it. Like you know what I mean?
It's like
so
I have a Gmail account. It's probably not now, but I'm saying like it exists, but no interaction.
Right.
It's not where I do my business.
Yeah. Don't you have a Yahoo account? How are you making fun of Gmail? No, what I'm saying is...
I got my work account. No, my wife has Hotmail.
Hotmail.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, that's... I think also Gen Zers, the younger ages, they went something else. You know what I mean? That's what social media was for.
Right.
Never forget, Facebook was started by college students for college students.
Exactly.
Yeah, good point.
Seriously.
Right. Exactly. Residents of a UK township are afraid the new McDonald's drive-thru that's been proposed will spoil the view of the Dover Castle, which sits atop a massive hill.
I was going to say, how?
Right. You don't want to have a McDonald's in there. That's fine.
Just say you don't want McDonald's.
It's going to ruin our view of the Dover Castle.
I can't see Mount Rainier. It's like Mount Rainier is across the street from where you are. McDonald's is not blocking your view of the freaking mountain.
And it just depends on the angle. Like that Kentucky Fried Chicken is right across the pyramids.
You ever see it?
Right. I mean, right. If people shoot the right angle, you see it. But like most people don't.
Right.
And if you see it, it's because somebody wanted you specifically to see, hey, these pyramids you've heard about all your life. Here's KFC.
Correct.
I would do that, though.
I would. That's where I'm at. KFC? Yes, KFC, but where?
Yeah, I just think it'd be crazy to sit there like I'm eating Kentucky Fried Chicken as I'm looking at the most famous pyramids in the world.
To me, that actually sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
Like, I got to see the pyramids. I'm eating KFC. Like, brother, sign me up.
A new study says bright light boosts brain power and alertness.
Yeah, that's why when you live in the dark for 5-6 months, you start to get nuts.
Exactly.
So it's almost like why people turn their lights on in the house when they wake up.
That whole vitamin D thing.
What a concept.
Yeah, does Batman seem happy to you?
Right.
I'm in a great mood.
Yeah, exactly. He's not.
Nirvana's my theme song.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, he's kind of a depressed dude.
Gents, when's the last time that you went a full 24 hours without feeling irritated by something?
Oh, Christ.
Vacation.
I don't know. Yeah. Couple weeks ago then.
Pretty much. 45% of people said that they can't remember the last time that they went a full 24 hours without being irritated by something. And there's a lot of things to be irritated about. All right.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 most common everyday irritations revealed. The short version. Whenever, and I do mean whenever, someone tells you they're going to give you the short version of the story, do not, for 1 second, ever harbor any hope that you're going to get the short version. You're going to find out things you didn't want to or even desire to know about. Does it make you look at this person differently? Oh, God, yes. And sometimes not in a good way. But I find myself begrudgingly intrigued and ask myself, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? We know the answer is no, but we're still thinking about it.
Yeah, I feel that one.
For sure. For sure.
I mean, as a call screener, I don't need to hear the whole story. I just need to know that you know what you're talking about, you know what we're talking about, and then we're all good to go. So I tell people, give me the short version of the story. And it is either one of two things. It is either the entirety of the story with all dramatic effect and build-up and everything that they can, or it's short version, okay, candy cane, police officer, meth.
Right.
Like, that's not the short version.
I'd almost rather hear that. Then you know where the Stop Mart is in Shelton,
right? But the thing is,
right around that turn you make.
But the thing is, Miles, when they give me the 3 bullet points and I say I just need a little bit more context than that, then they'll roll into the entire story.
You know where that gas station is in Shelton?
Just tell me what. Spoil the story for me. It's okay. I don't need all the impressive. I'm letting most people through, but just tell me what the story is.
So people just suck at telling stories.
They do too. Yeah, that's a fact. So these are the top 10 everyday irritations. Number 10 being the last person in the bathroom uses up the toilet paper and does not replace the roll.
Yes.
It depends. If you're in a public place and they don't have it, you're kind of screwed. You can always go tell the manager, though. Hey,
sure.
You're out of paper towels, you're out of toilet paper. Half the time, those things are all locked up. Like, for an example, if we run out of toilet paper here at work, there's nothing you can do about it. You could go to a different stall, but the one you're in, you can't change that toilet paper. You can't even get into that box to do it.
Right.
And who knows where the toilet paper is.
I think they probably mean at home.
Oh, well,
because in a business, there's not much I can do.
Sure.
You know, to the business. But
I see what he's saying. You know, it's also irritating if you do use a public restroom and then you sit down and then there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not mad at the person before me.
No.
You're just
it's a public restroom.
Right. There's just, look, I would do it, and there's no guilt. But if they had another roll for me to put in, I would put it on.
What is worse? So there's definitely a roll that's there that you can get for yourself.
Yeah.
What is worse? Leaving an empty roll sitting there or putting the new roll on top of the empty roll. So it's not actually on the roll.
Some reason that irritates me more. You have the presence of mind to recognize there's no toilet paper.
Right.
You have the presence of mind to grab this. Can you just put, look, and the time it takes me to poop, I can change out 15 of those. Right?
Yes.
What else are you doing?
Right. I feel like I know somebody that I would put money on it, that we could go to their house, and I would bet that the toilet paper is on top of the roll. No, you do not know this person. You've met this person once in your life.
Oh, you're just saying in general?
Yeah, I know this person.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
A million times.
I mean, I've done it.
Is that so bad?
If I get up early in the morning and poop, sometimes I'll just put the new one on there and roll back to bed.
But you live alone.
You live alone.
I've done it when I'm staying at somebody else's house.
Okay. Damn it, Ted.
But also, I don't mind either if I get in there and I poop. It's like, generally the toilet paper is somewhere around there.
I'm going to start putting just out of arm's reach. Some irritated. It's like, man, why is it on this thing? I physically have to stand up to grab this.
Now, what is irritating is if you don't have any extra toilet paper in a guest room.
Yes. Yes.
And they're fighting for my life.
I always check the guest room. I'm like, man, make sure there's toilet paper down there.
Top 10 everyday irritations.
Yeah.
When someone could hold the door for you, but doesn't.
Oh, it kind of happened today.
Yeah, depending on your yeah, that guy walking in.
Yeah.
He's just that guy.
And then they almost make it like as slim of a hole as possible to where they make sure that the door closes behind him.
Yeah, he was kind of on that tip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, dude, like,
on,
you know we're right behind. And look, you're not obligated to do that. It's just an act of decency.
Right.
That's all.
Just put your hand back and try to keep the door open a little.
And you can see the reflection of people in the glass. So
you can.
see people coming for a while.
I kind of did it to a guy today. But like our building, there's 4 doors when you walk in.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he was walking pretty quick coming south, right? Mm-hmm. So I go in the 3rd door, and I didn't think he'd pick that door.
But he did.
Gotcha.
But he did. So then the 2nd door, I held open for him, and he said thanks. But like I was like, I wanted to be like, I didn't mean to close the door on you. Why did you pick the door?
But you recovered on the 2nd one, so you're
correct.
Oh, it's forgiven. All right, okay.
Yeah. Cyclists who hog the road.
Well, yeah.
If you hog the road in any vehicle.
Right. I always happen to hit the cyclist as I'm going like around a corner, so I can't quite get around him. I can't give him the room that I should be able to give him without, putting my own life in danger as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, I have a buddy that used to be a bike messenger, right? So he'd always defend on the cyclist.
Sure.
I'd be like, right, like, okay, I'll give you give you your part of the road. You got to follow the rules. And he's like, well, cars run red lights too. And I'm like, yeah, cars get tickets. So I'm just like, look, especially in Seattle, you got plenty of bike lanes, but bike in the bike lane.
Right.
Yeah.
Use the bike lane.
We've given up several lanes of traffic for it. Please use it.
Slow walkers.
I mean, it depends on the situation.
Yeah,
I mean,
very much.
It does. But also, if you're going to stroll, again, keep it to the road rules. Keep it to the right.
Yeah, I guess that would
My
be
thing
the
is,
difference.
you're on your phone and you just walked out of a door. Now you're standing right in front of the door. Others are trying to walk out, and you're on your phone and you're blocking traffic.
Or my favorite's at the airport when you're walking in between terminals. I get it. You're not in a hurry. You got here with plenty of time.
Sure.
You have a long time before your connection, whatever it is. Fine. If you're strolling your way, again, hit to the right because there's a lot of people that are on a tight schedule through that airport.
Well, not only that, but look, if you're going 4 people for lunch, and I've seen it happen out of this building, the 4 people will walk side by side.
Oh my God!
Down the sidewalk, and look, go 2 and 2, but give the people coming the other way room to pass you. You're not like this giant wall that morphs up the street.
Yes,
you need to let other people be able to pass you,
right,
or to walk who are coming your direction to even just have a lane to get through.
Also,
but you're completely oblivious to that situation.
The 4 wide drops you up a wall.
Oh my God!
And then I have some friends that do this. If we're walking down a street that's just a normal sidewalk, right? Not like downtown where they're a little wider. Hey, there's somebody coming, and I slow down. Don't pace me.
Right.
I'm trying to make room for the other person to pass us.
Exactly. We're trying to go single file here. Also, airports, fairs, like street fairs, Costco. This is not the time for your 2-year-old to learn how to walk.
Yeah.
Give them their independence elsewhere.
Also, especially when it comes to public transportation.
Oh, my God.
Be it that you're going to a light rail station, whatever the deal is, it might be a time thing for someone. So even if you're on the moving sidewalks in the airport, get to the right because someone might be in a hurry to get to their gate.
Right.
So that they can pass you, whether it's on an escalator, a moving walkway, whatever the scenario is. In a mall, okay, I don't figure you're in a rush to get to the sale.
Sure.
But in those situations, you should know better.
Right. When you can't remember a password, again, these are the 10 everyday irritations.
Oh, God, well, that's on me.
I feel like that's everybody now, just because there's so many different passwords for everything.
Exactly.
And I know there's those ones you can use to keep it safe. But like I'm just like I'm not using the same password all the time.
But there's one, they tell you don't use the same password for everything. And it's self-explanatory, I understand. But certain things I use every day, email. Other things I use because I had to, what is it, my medical chart, whatever that F it is, right?
My chart.
Oh,
yeah.
my chart.
Right, like, I don't remember this. I had to go to our retirement plan here, right, the 401k thing. Oh, we have an update. It probably took me 20 minutes to get in there.
Right.
And finally, I essentially had to just kind of reapply for the whole thing.
Correct.
Because I'm like, I haven't looked at this in 7 years.
Because you eventually hit forgot password. It sends you to an email that you forgot the password to get into that email.
Dude,
so then you need to do that. But then it goes to a phone or a different email that you don't have that password to. The round robin of password resets. I've been down that road before.
And it's stacked. And like, I appreciate people wanting to protect your information, but also I would like to get my information.
I had one a couple weeks ago, and it was like, here's a security question. What's the name of your first pet?
I had that today.
It was this.
And it wouldn't let me in.
Even though you were right.
Right.
Yes.
Capitalized first letter.
Exactly.
Come on, Mouse. I don't try. I tried 100 freaking combinations of my first pet's name and then had to wait on hold, no lie, for an hour and a half.
Wow.
I did the same thing. I put in this answer. Okay, let me try capitalize the first letter. Okay, let me try it all caps.
I'm close
let
enough,
me separate.
damn it.
It's like, look, man, you know I'm hovering right around.
Right.
What is the equation for pi? 3.14. Oh, we need the next 3.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
No, I don't.
What high school did you go to? Enumclaw.
I went to a bunch of them.
Enumclaw High. No. Enumclaw High School. No. Like, let's see here. Bad parkers who take up more than one space.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
You just suck. Like,
Put it in
unless
the space.
unless you're in the back, I get it. You have an oversized car. You have a nice car that you don't want dings on.
But someone made that decision. I get it.
Right.
But yeah, if you're closing up, like parking close, like, bro, if you can't fit it in the parking space, then don't park there.
But also, have construction, like, the 2x4s get bigger? Like, what am I missing? I know a lot of people that had trucks when I grew up in the 80s and 90s. These trucks today, like, what the F are you doing with that
Oh,
thing?
you mean, what are you hauling?
Or buy a
in
goddamn SUV.
Right.
Like, some of those trucks, like, what do you possibly need that for? Like, well, this one's bigger. All right, cool. Are you towing a mansion?
Right. Dude, I actually did that not terribly long ago.
Seriously?
I looked at an old school Tundra. I was at the auction and an old school Tundra rolled through. I said, that thing wouldn't qualify as a Tacoma these days.
No.
Yeah.
They're a quarter of the size.
You should look at I saw a comparison. It was the difference between your average pickup truck in the 80s, even though it has the same name,
right,
versus what they are now. It is unbelievable.
Staggering.
Yeah.
And the price difference is amazing.
Yeah, that as well.
People who don't use turn signals.
Okay.
That drives me absolutely freaking nuts. Like, look, man, again, we don't have ESP, and everyone, not everyone, but in theory, everyone drives defensively. If you just let us know what you want to do, we can all make better decisions.
Being stuck on hold. Ted, you just mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
That, yeah. Also, I'm going to run a business where we make a better playlist for hold music. I'm going to start that business.
They make the time go better.
You're damn right. Like Spotify, I think that they could get into that. Or Odyssey.
And you don't have to keep telling me I'm on hold. I know.
Your call's very important.
Yeah.
All right,
No, it's not. No, it's
here's
not.
my issue. Stop saying how important it is. Now, if you're just going to say, hey, we're still here, you're on hold.
Cool.
I fathom it because I might question, like, are they still there?
Right.
But you're right. Like, this one phone call was driving me insane. And then it's very important. Like, no, it is not.
No, it's not. I've
It's
been here
not
for an hour.
important to you.
It is not
We
important.
know it's not important to you. I'm going to smoke in my ass, man. Just get to the freaking question.
Potholes show up on there. You guys ever have to apologize to your car after hitting a pothole?
Yeah, you feel bad.
It is sorry. It's real bad right now.
I'm sorry.
The roads suck.
Awful.
They really do.
Run into a pothole, and I know everybody says it's like stepping on your dog's hand, but I think it's like knocking over a toddler by mistake. Oh, you feel real bad. You know what I mean? Like you turn around and you just bump, like hip check a toddler, and it's like, oh, damn, my bad.
Neighborhood roads are the worst. I mean, our highway system is pretty good, but when you get
Because
off
they're constantly working on it.
But when you get off of it, man, it's an S show.
But then the number one everyday irritation. You see that person, they're walking their dog down the street. Or worse, you just see a pile on the side because they didn't clean up after their doggone dog.
Just pick up after the damn dog.
My favorite, I will take the poo on the side of the road, whatever it is, especially if it's in nature. If I'm out in like a park or something like that, I'll leave it there.
I don't complain.
You bag that thing and leave it on the side of the road? Really? You did the hard part. Take it with you.
The hard part's done.
And also, in the woods. Bag it up in the woods and put it off to the side. The one exception is the wife's uncle. Love the dude. He will bag it and leave it on the side of the trail because he doesn't want to have to cart it through the entirety of the trail. He waits until he comes back and then he'll grab it and pick it up.
He will grab it.
Okay.
All right.
Like he just doesn't want to carry the thing all over the doggone place because there's no garbage cans inside the trail. But other than that, I've been out on other trails. It's like, okay, this has no earthly business of being here. Just leave the poop. Just leave the poop.
I'm with you. Not picking up dog crap. It drives you up a wall.
Oh, God. 3 escapees led Kansas officers on a chase, but it's not the escapees that you'd think of, Miles.
What were they?
It's all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, it's going to contest on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. Have we made it to drinking time?
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
Inside every California avocado is a story. It's shaped by idyllic conditions, full of rich soil, gentle rain, and friendly California sunshine, where avocados flourish. Crafted with care by dedicated local farmers who are committed to responsible, sustainable growing. The best avocados have California in them. To understand why, all you have to do is open one up. In season now. Visit CaliforniaAvocado.com to learn more.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up?
Well, it's what's down that's got my attention.
Oh?
Yeah, look at that long snake.
Snake? Oh, traffic. Those are cars.
I know they're cars. I'm being metaphorical. If I were a human, I'd ride that Bel Air airport or shuttle. Look at it. It gets you to SeaTac quickly. You can sleep, look out the window, be productive, and it's in the HOV. Hey, maybe it stands for heading on vacation.
Bel Air Airport or Shuttle with 8 round trips daily. Click airporter.com to book your trip today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve at Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast one Steve Wilder of Omaha, Nebraska. Steve Wilder. Now I want you to imagine this scenario. He wakes up from a deep sleep and he realizes that a former throat cancer patient who's in bed could not breathe. So it seems that their air passage had swollen shut. He did not have time to call for help, so he made the decision to perform a tracheotomy. Just like they do.
That's not good.
All right, so keep in mind, he's not a doctor. He has never performed a tracheotomy, but he grabbed a knife, located the proper spot, pushed in, and in Steve's words, quote, blood came gushing out, but air was gushing in. And believe it or not, he was successful, and the patient was later taken to the hospital for an actual medical tracheotomy. But the reason we're toasting him is because he performed the tracheotomy on himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a former throat cancer patient. Anyway, he says he's dead asleep, wakes up because his air passage completely swollen shut, doesn't know what to do, grabbed a knife, think about this, jammed it in his own neck or wherever you put, I don't know if it's here, under the Adam's apple, whatever, right? In his own freaking neck, man, was able to start breathing again. I don't know what he put in there as a tube, maybe an empty ink pen top or something like that. But yeah, called 911 and took him to the hospital.
Damn.
And the doctors gave him a proper tracheotomy, and he's expected to make a full recovery. Like, man, that is, like, even... I did a Google search for people that have successfully performed a tracheotomy that are not doctors. The results are not good.
No.
Okay? But the idea that he did this on himself and survived. That's impressive. That is insane to me. And, side note, glad I'm not him. So we pour this booze, and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Hey, Steve at Thrill Hill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Terry. Welcome to the men's room.
Going on from West Texas again.
Hola, Terry, West Texas. All right, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
Terry, do you live in Western Texas or do you live in
West Texas? Right.
West Texas, Midland, Odessa. I'm about an hour south of Lubbock.
All right, so Western Texas.
All right, so West, because there's a city called West Texas,
but it's
right?
not in the western part of Texas.
Is it not?
No.
Isn't it like up north or something?
I think it's in the east because there was a huge fire at some refinery.
What kind of jackass does that? Sorry. All right, so that just annoys me.
I'm sure at the time they thought they were in the western part.
This is as west as we're going to go, homie.
Let's stop here.
All right, so you have your choice of one of three stories. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? Interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. And we have Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem. By the way, quick side note, Terry, a Texas came in that says, "Let's go, Terry." That usually does not happen.
Let's go Animalize This.
Yeah, West is over. It's north of Waco.
Jesus Christ. I'm sure North Texas.
Oh, wow. That's 4 or 5 hours for me.
Yeah, that is not West.
I know.
All right, Terry.
Holiday Inn and everything. They got a Subway.
Here's your story. Oh, cool.
They got a Subway. Huge.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, and the Fishery Services, they're offering a $20,000 reward for information after an animal was found shot to death on a beach last month. So the juvenile critter was found, quote, with multiple bullets lodged in its brain, spinal cord, and heart on West Mays Beach in somewhere Louisiana. So they performed an autopsy, and they confirmed the animal appeared to have died from trauma, again, because they found bullets in its brain, spinal cord, and heart. And they believe that occurred at or near the time of death. So following the discovery, NOAA's Office of Law Enforcement, they're investigating the animal's death. They're offering the $20,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest or assessment of a civil penalty. According to NOAA, harassing, hunting, killing, or feeding wild animals, or even attempting to do these activities is prohibited under the Marine Protection Act. Now, violations can be prosecuted either civilly or criminally, punishable by up to $100,000 in fines and 1 year in jail. I get the feeling if you blew that many holes in an animal, you're going to get jail time. Now, the question is, what type of animal did some a-hole shoot on the beach? Was it a manatee? Was it a seal? Was it a dolphin? Or was it a pelican? So manatee, seal, dolphin, or pelican?
I don't know the manatee population in Louisiana, Terry, or if there is one, but if there is a manatee population, which seems feasible, I'm going to go with that because it seems to be one of the more protected animals.
They shoot in the water?
I think manatees are closer to Florida, though.
I mean, we definitely know they're in Florida, but still the Gulf. I don't know if they migrate over or whatever the deal is.
I mean, you think of gators in Florida, but they're all over the South.
That is a good point, yeah.
Yeah, that's fact. I'm leaning towards pelican, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, that would make sense.
That would piss off people in Louisiana.
But did you say it washed up on the beach?
They don't know. It could have washed up on the beach and someone shot the thing. It could have been alive in the water and someone shot the thing. That's the thing. They don't know if the gunshots happened before or after the animal's death.
I'm going to go dolphin.
Dolphin. Okay, Ted says dolphin.
You really don't like the dolphins.
Okay. What did they find washed up and shot on the beach? Was it a manatee, a seal, a dolphin, or a pelican? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime. Made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories analyze this on Profile This. Noah offering a $20,000 award after an animal was found shot multiple times on the beach. Question is, what is the animal that they're offering a $20,000 reward for any information leading to find out who shot the animal? Question is, was it a manatee, a seal, a dolphin, or a pelican?
Yes, indeed. And Terry, that is the very question that we posed to you. Let us start with Miles Montgomery, who clearly does not like manatees. It's not a manatee.
Okay.
Now, Terry, you went with the pelican. It was Louisiana. However, bad news. It was not a pelican. Not a pelican. And Ted, you just went to the source and went for a dolphin.
Dolphin.
You are correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they don't know if they shot it in the water or shot it on the...
They don't know. I mean, when they're done with their necropsy or autopsy, whatever you want to call it, they'll probably be able to figure it out based on the monitor that went in where the bullet holes are, etc. But right now, they're like, look, the only two things we can confirm is that this dolphin is dead on the beach and that it has been shot in the head, the spinal cord, etc. So I'm hoping it washed up before someone did that. But this is the U.S. There ain't no guarantees.
See, this sounds sick. I'm almost hoping it was already dead, and somebody's like, well, it doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. I really hope it's that.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right. Your choices today. You got the Jimmys.
Kimball and Fallon.
Stephen Colbert. Tomlinson.
Taylor.
Writers. Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right there. The title lines guys have teams of talented writers helping come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
New research warns that food additive that's used to preserve and give texture to cake and ice cream increases the risk of type 2 diabetes. That headline again, eating too much cake and ice cream might give you diabetes.
You didn't say Myers, did you?
I'll say Ted Smith.
So I'm going to say Fallon.
Writers.
Damn it.
I would like to take a minute to honor a true classic. This is a book that used to be in every home in the good old days. Not the Bible. Talking about the Yellow Pages. What other book can you get escrow and escort on the same page?
Kimmel.
Colbert.
Kimmel.
I would like to take a minute to honor a true classic. This is a book that used to be in every home in the good old days. And I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm talking about the phone book, the Yellow Pages. I mean, what other book can get you like escrow and escort on the same page?
I'm just going to start randomly saying that now. I can't come out tonight. I'm in escrow.
Or I'm with an escort.
If somebody say, that's not what that means. I'm like, look, I'm not coming.
It doesn't mean it to you.
Yeah. Some entertainment news. It's being reported that Kanye West is reportedly getting into making porn. I know, crazy, right? The really funny thing is that for all the crazy, weird stuff Kanye does, it's reported that most of the porn is just missionary.
The Ted Smith.
Yes.
Yeah, that's me. He's supposed to be, I guess he bought a porn company.
So he already bought a company. And, all right.
Or invested in it, something. I don't know. He dresses his wife like a hooker.
Even hookers don't look like that.
A Belgian man was acquitted on drunk driving charges because it was proven that his body makes his own alcohol. It's called auto brewery syndrome. I have that, but instead of alcohol, my body makes anxiety, and I am buzzed right now.
Colbert.
Taylor Tolleson.
This past week, a man in Belgium was acquitted on drunk driving charges after it was proven that he has a rare condition in which his body makes its own alcohol. It's called auto brewery syndrome. I also have that, but instead of alcohol, my body makes anxiety. And I am buzzed right now.
Glad we got one in for her.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also, a good interview. It was last night, with Drew Carey on After Midnight. Drew Carey went to the Fish show at the Sphere this past weekend and had some very interesting things. I saw his tweets coming out. I was like, damn. All right.
Meaning that he was having a good time.
Yeah.
I think everybody at that show was having a good time.
Fish at the Sphere.
Some of the language he used was a little aggressive.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was having a fish time then.
Miles, I get what you're saying, but trust me, look up what he tweeted out. I mean, I go to fish shows, and I've had some some experiences. His was aggressive. I was like, what the hell are you on?
Okay.
But either way, yeah, I mean, pretty good show there. Check that out. The opposite of fish and freedom would be jail.
Yes, that is the opposite of freedom. Sure.
So I talked about watching that new series on Netflix where basically this one jail, one of the pods in the jail, which is how they separate it, they were going to give basically like all those inmates, and they're in Little Rock, Arkansas, were on 23-1, which means 23-hour lockdown, 1 hour off. So then they said, hey, we're going to open the doors and just kind of take the guards out of there, let them do everything. So I finally finished the series there, and it was good. Okay. And I get where the warden was coming from. I'd have to look up what's going on down there now. Basically, he's just like, look, like I told you, like the States, we do this and that. So he gave them all these freedoms. And sure, some people took advantage of them.
Of course.
They're making Pruno and this and that, which, man, that show did way too good of a job of letting those guys how to explain it. I think it tastes awful if you had to, but I'm pretty sure I can make a batch if we needed it. And then, like, all this other stuff they were doing, but, like, the fights were cut down and this and that. And then they had a real issue with people, like, getting drugs in there and stuff. And instead of basically, like, putting everybody on lockdown, one dude just he just turned himself in. And it kind of blew the warden away. He's like, we have never had this.
Of course.
Right? Because jail works in a different system than normal society. Yes. So even, let's say, whatever, Thrill and I have beef in the jail. If he comes to my cell and beats me up, and the CO walks in there and goes, what happened? It is just understood that I will say I fell off the bed, this or that. Like, you cannot.
Damn right he did.
Right. You cannot say, hey, he just beat me. Right? So, like, it really blew their minds when they saw it. And they were trying to build, a community, if you will, or this or that. But it was pretty interesting. And then afterwards, like, they decided they were going to keep the policy. They realized it's harder to bring in new dudes.
Sure.
Because they're just coming in used to normal jail, which is
much different.
You got to fight somebody. You can cheat at cards, this and that. But it was a pretty good social experiment. I do have some friends that work in that field, so we've been talking about it. I mean, look, jails and prisons is never going to be an easy answer in this country, but at a certain point, it's like, man, we got a lot of people locked up, and I'm not positive they're coming out rehabilitated.
You know, come on.
And when you gave them the freedoms and stuff, even some of the crazier dudes, like this one guy was a pretty intense, scary guy, and talking about his drug use, this and that, and like he just looks at the camera and he's like, now that I've had this freedom, I realize like I just can't handle myself. And he's like, I spent years blaming this or that. And he's like, I just couldn't handle the responsibility on my own. Mm-hmm. And that's scary to say. But they did other stuff, too, like free phone privileges, right? They had unlimited visits so they could have contact with the outside world and regular civilians, which really seemed to help them a lot, kind of calm down and not be as angry and this and that. And look, jail's also hell on your psyche. Like, you spend 23 hours in a room, like they're saying, they're like, look, by the time I get out, I'm already agitated, like beyond agitated, ready to fight. And then Miles comes by and steals a grape off my tray. It's like, well, now we got to fight. There's no talking or nothing because it's like you're already that amped up. You've been locked up in there. I mean, look, some dogs are going to be angry, right? But everybody knows, you don't see this much anymore, but like there was that one neighbor, that one guy down the street, right? And his dog's angry. It's like, well, his dog is chained up outside basically all year round and everything else. Like, of course that dog's angry. Like, I'd be angry too. But pretty good show. I'm interested to see if there was a second season. They were talking about kind of opening it up to other pods and stuff. But, there's the COs were still there.
Yeah, you're still
when stuff went like bad, they could still go in there. You know what I mean? And basically also what kind of happens, and it's easier as we see this with children a lot of times, but like they kind of police themselves a little bit, right? Some of the older guys started, then some of the younger guys, and it was I don't know, it was a positive experience. So I enjoyed watching it. Now, let's say, I don't think anybody really gets too upset, but if your wife is a singer and an actress, you might see her do a sex scene, maybe kiss somebody else. Lainey Wilson, who's a legit star now in country music. But I first saw her on Yellowstone. I didn't realize she was a real country artist. I just thought she was hot. And she was kind of famous for that booty. Congratulations on your new lifestyle. I miss your booty. But somebody asked her about, the kissing scenes and this and that on Yellowstone, and what her boyfriend is Duck Hodges, who played for the Steelers.
Okay.
They were like, was he jealous or whatever? She was like, no. Like, he gets it. She's like, I worked hard for these opportunities. This is what happens. At the end of the day, I love you and you love me. You just do what you got to do. And he knew it was just work. Now, I will say, on the other hand, if my wife is an actress and she's famous, right? Mm-hmm. She could do all the sex scenes or whatever. I'll tell you one show she's not doing. Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. What? Oh, God, they hook up.
They hook up all the time.
Yep.
And dancing is intimate. They don't call it the forbidden dance for nothing.
Yeah. Well, if I'm Duck, I say, look, man, I'm a pro athlete. What do you think we do?
Right.
It's part of the job, baby. I'm on the road.
Sorry.
My bad. I'm not in the NBA, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're actors. I don't think anybody's going to get too upset about that or whatever.
You would hope not.
You would hope. And also, listen, for actors and actresses, right, like, there's going to be sometimes, like, people got to remember, like, they don't shoot these things over a long period of time. So especially movies, it's usually a few months where you're just with the same people all the time.
Over and over, yeah.
So either you're going to become buddies with somebody or you're just going to strike up a relationship. And it does, you know what I mean?
Or you're going to hate each other.
Or, right. Or you go to your separate trailers and just do your thing. All right, everybody knows Patrick Mahomes, super famous, wins a lot of Super Bowls, kind of talks like...
Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. Or, what's his name? Eastbound and Down.
Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers. After one of his Super Bowls, he's on one of the late night shows. He's like, yeah, man, it was crazy. We had this person, that person. So basically, Travis Kelce's hosted SNL. Mm-hmm. His brother Jason showed up. So people were like, hey, do you ever think about hosting? He doesn't think he's ready yet. He has a fear of reading off teleprompters.
That's fair.
He gave a speech at the ESPYs last year. It didn't go so well. And I
was wondering, how do you get that fear? But obviously he's tried it.
Because you did it. Yeah.
I do like the article they say, too, he will be happy to know they use cue cards, not teleprompters. Which,
they do, yeah.
I will say, has anybody in here ever read off a teleprompter?
Yes. No.
A couple of times, yeah.
Yeah, like I've never done it on the news. When I went to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting to learn the TV stuff, too, it is odd.
It's really odd.
Because you're reading, but you got right, and you're reading, but you have to read like a line ahead. I mean, it is different. Shout out to all the local news people that do that stuff, because it's not as easy as you think.
Well, see, when I think of teleprompters, I think of what the president uses. Yeah. The kind we use when I was doing television in college it was just this scrolling thing, and right above the camera, you had a foot pedal, and you controlled the speed of the scroll. Right. So you kind of felt like you were more in control, like you were reading a book. So I didn't really think of it as a teleprompter, if that makes sense.
I think it's because you control the speed.
Correct.
I will say, watch your local news around Christmas time, because I see this every year. Some of your A-cast will still be there, until the final days before they take a break. But you can tell some of the guys that run the teleprompter or programmer or whatever are not there. And I always remember Steve Rabel, because it was like Christmas Eve. And normally he would have been off. And he's doing his usual thing. And whoever did his teleprompter just never finished the sentence. So he's like, and that's what happened at, 4th Avenue in Columbia earlier today in downtown Seattle. And you see him, and there's like 4 more, and you can just see his face like, Jesus Christ, guys.
Come on.
Right, I mean, just kept going and going and going and going.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Look, I went to that school in 2000, 2001, so I'm sure technology, but sometimes it is somebody back there controlling how fast it is. And then also, you got to type all that stuff in there as well.
Right.
It's also why you see them stare into the camera all the time and not really change, because that's where the teleprompter is.
They're not looking at you. They're reading.
Yeah.
But
also,
if you do it well, it doesn't look like that.
Patrick Mahomes, my man, like, he's so famous. He's such a good athlete and everything else. Like, he does celebrity golf tournaments. Mm-hmm. He rips Coors Lights. Like, Travis Kelce, forget even the Taylor Swift stuff. Remember, he had already had a reality show, right? He was already doing a podcast with his brother. Like, he's more interested, it seems to me, in other stuff.
Sure.
Mahomes seems like he wants to go win football games.
And then be done.
Play some golf and rip some beers and hang out with his family. Like, cool.
Ted, we appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
Hiring for your small business? If you're not looking for professionals on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. That's like looking for your car keys in a fish tank. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So start looking in the right place. With LinkedIn, you can hire professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
Imagine the softest sheets you've ever felt. Now imagine them getting even softer over time. That's what you'll feel with Boll & Branch's organic cotton sheets. In a recent customer survey, 96% replied that Boll & Branch's sheets get softer with every wash. Start getting your best night's sleep in these sheets that get softer and softer for years to come. Try their sheets with a 30-night guarantee, plus 15% off your first order at bollandbranch.com, code Odyssey. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly, so there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Family pudding in the kitchen realizes that they did not need to take a loan out after all. Meanwhile, after 7 years, a Japanese zoo learns that their resident hippo isn't having a ball. Man has lived to 110, eats whatever he wants, and drinks an Ovaltine every day. A guy locks himself in a car dealership until he and his new truck can drive away. And an Air Force flight is delayed by a sleeping alligator. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story. We go to Kansas, where officers got themselves into a chase. After receiving the call, officers made their way to the scene where a trio of escapees could be found trespassing on people's property and walking in and out of the roadway, endangering themselves and oncoming motorists. The officers moved in to apprehend the three, but they bolted on side of the officers, leading them on a good long chase. Eventually, the three circled back and made their way back to their residence, a local farm pasture that housed the 3 cows that had gotten loose. Someone snapped a few photos of the officers attempting to wrangle the cattle and posted them to the department's social media pages. You can't look cool chasing after a cow.
No, there's no way to. Unless you're on a horse and have a rope.
Yeah,
That's
you know
the
what,
only
you're
way.
right.
If you're not going to lasso it, you don't look cool.
That's a fact. You guys ever tried to wrangle anything wild?
No.
I shouldn't say wild. Cows aren't exactly wild, but they're not,
I guess
they're not exactly trained.
I don't know.
I feel like I'd remember if I have.
I definitely remember chasing a dog that, like, ran out of the house.
Sure.
Yep. And you know what? That works, too, because for whatever reason, they know you're trying to take them away from where they're at, And so then they want nothing to do with you. They move as far away from you as possible.
Yeah, they just run faster.
Exactly.
Because they know they can outrun your ass.
Right.
And it's like, I hate you right now.
My dog is the same thing. He loves being outside right now. And also, he'll hang with me. He'll jump up on my lap and he'll snuggle in and we'll just, I'll scratch him, we'll watch TV, and we're all having fun. As soon as he's outside and I start walking towards him, he knows.
Oh, they're gone.
Right. And then he kind of does that little, and then, little juke move, and then he's out.
I stopped chasing after the dog. Told my wife, look, I'm done.
Right. Let her run away.
She comes home or she doesn't. I'm done. Within 10 minutes, the dog always comes back. But I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Guys.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. No good. Damn it. When did you chase me?
Right.
Yeah, I guess it was. I'm not doing it.
I ain't doing it anymore.
Yeah. Your dog is so nice, but your dog does look a little intimidating.
Well, I'm just like, just let her go. I don't care.
Right. I told you, my cousin, he had a brown pit bull, right? And, it was the nicest dog.
Yeah.
But one day, same thing. He opens the door, dog sprints out. Dog recognizes, a neighbor's car, and the neighbor jumps on the hood on the windshield and is, licking the windshield. That neighbor called the cops.
Straight up Cujo action right
Wow.
there.
Yeah.
And knew the dog. And still called.
I don't think the dog just kind of recognized the neighbor.
But the dude didn't know the dog.
The dude didn't know. And to the dude's defense, that's what I'm saying. Like my cousin was like, Jesus, she's crazy. But it's like, yeah, you kind of got to get her because people are scared of her.
Right.
Even though she means no harm.
Speaking of animal interference, we head to Florida, where a local caused a slow up at the local Air Force base. Local Fish and Wildlife Conservation officials were called to the base after a 10-foot gator had wandered its way onto the runway and settled itself between the wheels of a nearby plane's landing gear. The crew was able to safely scoop up the gator and relocate it to a more suitable habitat, posting about the encounter online, saying that they think the nearby gator, which is known for being famously large, they call him Elvis. Yeah, they think Elvis pushed this one out of the area onto the tarmac there.
Time for Elvis to leave the building.
Which
and about.
Yes.
Get on almost one.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Get up there underneath the plane. This is my area. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to have a good time, Yes. Yes. Look out.
For more animal fun, we go to Japan, where a local zoo made an interesting discovery. Years ago, they received a 5-year-old male hippo from a zoo in Mexico. But somewhere down the line, officials noticed that their new hippo friend wasn't exhibiting the traditional habits of your average male hippo.
What was their first key there?
I don't know.
He did watch sports.
How he poops.
Oh, really? It was how he pooped?
How he poops. So apparently it's the male hippos. When they poop, they spiral the tail around like a propeller.
Sure.
That's the dudes
territorial
marking territory. Right.
Mike, did you see where the Woodland Park Zoo is putting down the famous water lily rhino next week?
I did. No, it's a hippo, not a rhino. A hippo.
Oh, it's a hippo.
Yeah.
Water lily. Yeah.
Water lily hippo, yeah. Mm-hmm. I tried not to tell my wife that, so hopefully she's not listening.
Okay. He'll be around for another week.
Oh.
Mike's going to go to the zoo in the next week.
That's right. I got to go see water lily.
Hippo got cancer, apparently.
Yeah, it did.
But he smoked his entire life.
Hippo cancer. Do hippos have a hippocampus?
Hippocancers.
I don't know. Did they have hippocampus? It'd be weird if they don't.
Anyway, so this Japanese zoo ordered a DNA test. This is when they figured out that for the 7 years they've been taking care of a he when they actually had a she. Uh-huh. They did note that while they'll be changing the gender info on the hippo's charts, the name will not be changing. It is still.
What's the name of it?
I can't say it.
Okay, fair enough.
If I did, I would just sound offensive.
You'd start an international incident?
Yeah, probably. Over in New Jersey for a wild story, local media did a piece on a resident about his life as a senior citizen. The spry old man told reporters that he still feels like he could put on a pair of boxing gloves and jump into the ring at any time, still goes for a drive on the daily, and gets calls from his grandchildren every other day and sees them once a week so that they can bring him groceries and any goods that he might need. Now, this wouldn't be any kind of a big deal for your average senior, but given that the man's 110, it adds a little to the story.
110.
Yep. And he's still going for a drive every day, which
makes me comfortable.
His kids are saying, he's better than a lot of drivers that are out there.
His kids have to be 70 and 75.
Right?
So, let's talk to your great-grandkids and see how they feel.
Right. His kids should also be ready to stop driving at any day now. But damn, 110, and he's still feeling spry. You know, obviously it's hyperbole, but
of course. But still, if you're 110 and can speak and you're lucid,
right?
You can say what you want.
How old was the gal that was over there in Spokane where they, they were throwing her birthday? I feel like she was 112,
something like that.
And she was not. I don't want to put on boxing gloves.
She looked like she was 112.
Right. She wanted to go to bed. She was done. She didn't even want the doggone party.
I'm with you, though. You make it over 100. Say what you want.
You bet. You bet. Just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
I don't know why they would. There wasn't a whole lot of bad stories today, which I was happy about. A family over in the UK doing some renovating got their money's worth out of it. They were just getting started with their kitchen renovations and decided to start removing the old remodeling. Their home is 400 years old, and they wanted to take everything down to the stone walls in order to give everything, a fresh take and raise up the floor of the kitchen. But as they dug down, they unearthed something incredible, a bucket that was filled with 400-year-old coins.
Oh,
all right. The treasure haul they took to the auction and awarded them a 60,000 British pound bonus.
Damn.
Not bad at all, man.
No.
Not bad at all. Men's Room Sports. Your Seattle Mariners came out victorious last night against the Rangers after taking a 4-0 lead thanks to a couple two-run bombs by Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez. The series continues over on Root Sports with Bryce Miller having started on the mound. Just checking my live game tracker. It looks like it's currently 1-0.
Live game tracker. Nice spin, brother.
You know what I got there? Yeah, well, technology's different, so they give me accurate scores here.
Nice.
NHL playoffs. Game 3 of the tied series between Boston and Toronto's on ESPN. Game 2 of Vegas and Dallas takes over after that one ends. We've also got the Kings and Oilers playing Game 2 tonight over on TBS and on Max. NBA playoffs, you've got Game 2 between the Heat and the Celtics over on TNT, and that'll bleed over into Game 2 between the Pelicans and Thunder. As far as your weather settle in, folks, we're looking at stagnant temperatures of low 50s for the rest of tonight and all of tomorrow, with the rain coming back starting tomorrow morning, and it's not expected to let up until Friday afternoon. So get ready to deal with a little bit of that. And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. For Big Dummy, the head chef is back with Ted's Meat and Potatoes. Kevin Deers has more Aerosmith tickets up next.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.